Alright, hitting go live now. We are live, apparently. Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Says the YouTubes, anyway.
Yes.
If you're
back.
here, say hi. If you're not here, say hi. If you're not sure, say hi.
Yes.
Come on, bases there, Stuart.
Perfect. And Ozzy's already thrown in $5 super chat, which is awesome. So thank you, Ozzy. Second star to the right and straight on till morning. Indeed.
Okay.
Yeah, so how is everybody?
Yes. Oh, I'm going to start a poll. Oops.
Yes.
Wrong button.
Welcome back for Season 2 of Strange New Worlds. Episode 1, The Broken Circle.
Welcome to SNW. SNW tourism.
Snore.
Snore.
Snore. Yes. Hello, everybody. Ozzy, Stanley's, Jill47, Neil, Patrick, Merlost, Joe, Ryan K, Trilobite. Everybody, you're all awesome. Shanti can only listen today. Have an awesome one. Well, our format's pretty good for just being able to listen, I think. So, hence why people all the time say, I love your podcast. It's like, not really a podcast, but alrighty. It works as that if you want it to. Skeleton, Strange New World's #1 fan. I'm always back when there's new Star Trek to discuss. Indeed. Hello, Donnie. How's it going? Yeah, so we're back to the reviews of new episodes of Star Trek, which is awesome. It is a good time to be a Trekkie. I'm just saying. So, hopefully everybody out there as well. Hopefully you have a good weekend planned up for Father's Day. Either spending it with your dad or being a dad yourself. Hopefully something fun is going on. But, yeah. Trek. We're going to talk about it.
Read the poll, Stuart.
Oh my god, there's a new poll. There it is. Was Season 2, Episode 1 an episode that lived up to the high quality of Season 1?
Hi, Chuck.
Yes, just as good as Season 1. It was okay, maybe not as good. Or worse than Season 1. Didn't vibe well. Already the numbers are jumping back and forth, so...
Is it a fight?
Yes, it was for a while.
Alright, I'm going to start showing on the internet.
Go for it. Guys, if you want to join our as a member, you'll be represented there on the plaques, the dedication plaques for the ship. So please consider hitting that join button. Don't forget to like the video. It's one of the easiest ways. We have 56 people right off the hop. So that's awesome. Hit that like button. Let's try to get to 50 likes. I think we can do it. And also, don't forget that you guys can also head on over to Patreon/Trekyards. That's another way to support us on a monthly basis, just like the join option on YouTube. All the same perks and everything apply over there. And yeah, also, what else am I missing? Subscribe, obviously. Click the notification bell icon, obviously. And support us in any way you can. There are links down below to different Trekyards merch options. You can head on to Teespring or TeePublic, and we got some really cool stuff over there for you guys. So we want you guys to take part in that, look at it, check it out, and see what you guys can do to help us out. Lots of ways to support the channel and represent Trekyards in your own way. So consider doing all the things. And honestly, just being here for the lives is a great way as well, and super chatting, things like that. Sending a super thanks on an edited video. We have a lot of edited videos and content coming out about this particular episode, so keep your eyes peeled on the weekend and the days leading into next week, where we got some really great, fun stuff coming at you guys. Always, that's what we do. And yeah, help us out. Now, Jay Donaldson throws in $5.
Ooh.
Did I mishear? Or did they occasionally shorten dilithium to just lithium? Thought they might be trying to tie into early TOS that way. I don't know if I heard lithium, but yes, lithium was referenced once or twice in TOS before they had that established. So it could just be like a slang term for dilithium. I kind of like that. but I don't remember. We'll see on the subtitles if they actually say that here. So, yeah, don't know.
Interesting catch if it was.
And Tom Casey, $5. Season 2, Episode 1, solid, but could have been better. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with that assessment.
And it's certainly a funny old thing coming from Picard Season 3, which was a mammoth production. Started off slow, ended on a giant MG, and then went to some TNG, and then to this. It's quite a hop of tones and quality levels and casts and eras. Yeah, interesting threefer really. Oh, I'm playing Resurgence in the meantime as well, like that, like hardcore Nemesis Zero Trek, etc.
And Jill just retracted her statement saying she loves how the ships fly around at 360 degrees now. I think that's fantastic as well. Space has.
Is Jill saying they fly now?
No, they always have. Oh. But they fly in 360. They fly in 360 now. Nice try. I like to shoot you down every chance I get.
Because you also fly now, so you got to shoot me down from my flying. Yeah.
Ozzy Medeiros, $5. You sit in the captain's chair. You've said you're thinking. You sit in the captain's chair. You say you're thinking.
Your thing, I think.
Oh, your thing. Yes.
Everyone has a thing.
The thing isn't a thing until it's a thing, and now it's apparently a thing.
The problem is they're going to run out of phrases so quickly. There's only so many apt things you can say.
Kirk used to say shit like, straight on till morning, second star to the right, straight on till morning, or out there, that away. He had like really good ones. He didn't have a thing.
Well, he was just saying, based on the moment, there was no catchphrase.
Yeah. Exactly.
And Picard just said engage because that's a simple...
And make it so. He had 2.
But make it so could be, if any maneuver, engage was going to warp. Most of the time. Because they've got a thing for warp, that's the joke. It's not for any maneuver. He's not saying, make us go now! At a quarter impulse. Slowly. It's a warp, you know?
A lot of times people will be like, should I set a course to whatever? It's like, make it so.
Yeah, exactly. So,
yeah. Then you get the best one of all time. Let's fly.
That's Burnham?
That's Burnham.
What was Saru's? Oh, execute.
Yes.
Execute. Oh, I thought it was Borg. Not Borg. Dalek at that point. Hi, Stuart. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. How about you?
Yeah, I've just been doing this episode all day.
Damn.
I forgot what Fridays are like. It's just this.
You dedication. Wake up, yeah.
You do all day. You talk to you. All day. You go to sleep. Friday. It's strange it doesn't stop. Even things, like lower decks, where you would think 23 minutes. No, sir. Takes an hour to make a prep graphic, because that's what we do here. I will reveal I made a rather fun Klingon graphic in our Klingon episode, and that was really fun to kind of pick and choose exactly which version, brighten things up to kind of match, and because as Stuart pointed out, episodes can be dark, so I want to actually show the details, so I brighten things up, so every image is custom brightened as is need be. Sometimes doesn't work. Sometimes it doesn't. Yes.
Yeah. Merloss says, what did Archer say? He said, you can't be afraid of the wind, Denson. Well, we can't be afraid of the wind. He said that once. Anyway.
Maybe take us to warp? I don't know. They didn't say anything. I mean, Janeway's is also engaged.
Yeah.
Cisco's was engaged. Just a word they say.
Go fast. Get the hell out of here.
Taketh to warpeth. Geronimo! All of the warp. Warp me.
My God.
Zoom.
No, warp. Zoom. Zoom.
Hello, go now. Fast now. Zippy doodah.
There are mistakes to be made.
Go as slow as possible. Guys, warp 5. You've got 3 days for Pike comes back. You'll go to the edge of Federation space. Why the hell are you going warp 5? Because they don't realise that's going to take you more than 3 days. So they're not even to the place yet, and Pike's already back on Starbase. They've taken like a week at warp 5. Like, Arlen's having to sit there for a week at warp 5. Because, guys, if that planet is a day away at warp 5, guess what? Klingons can attack Earth in like 2 days. So any intergalactic combat is 2 days maximum. Oh wait, faster than that, warp 5. Haven't been an outpost. Don't have them be right Ain Sol system. God damn it.
Yeah.
Pisses me off. At least it wasn't that clinical, but definitely took more than 3 days to get there. Not even a question.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm glad that Stranger Worlds is back. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about it. So hopefully you guys are as well. There we go.
So Stuart, what do you think of Stranger Worlds Season 2 Episode 1, and how did it factor in a second watch? Because we obviously, as you guys know, we watch it very much in a first watch, first perspective. This is how we feel, boom. But further watchings can change our opinions, like knowing the plot line. And these, unlike Picard, are actually episodic stories. So start, middle, and end. There isn't necessarily an end of like, oh my god! There's more like a, okay, that's the storyline. Let's watch it again, see if we can pull clues. Which is nice to get back to, I'll be honest. The episodics. Something happens every week. There you go, Stuart.
Perfect. Well, my thoughts on it were, as a lot of people have stated, it was good. Could have been a little bit better, though. It seemed a little bit protracted in some spots, especially like the fight scenes. Hold up. Goddamn. The whole episode seemed...
They were wrong as well.
Yeah.
It's also William Shatner.
That happens all the time.
Writing.
Yeah. The episode was a little dark for me. I wish that the first episode would have been more like the whole crew together, kind of doing something more fun. But they're just diving right in. It's very much a continuation from last season, which I guess is fine. But we got some cool ship shots. We got a new ship. We got to see some Klingons, which was amazing. The new engineer, I rather like her. That's kind of what some people are kind of divided on that, but I really like her. There's a 12-year-old in transporter room for some reason. I don't know why. Which
very
we never really
person.
Discussed.
What's that? Very, very small person. Like
yeah,
the controls are like up to there.
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's just very small person.
Yeah. It's like they're 12. I don't know. I kind of wish Pike was in it. He's kind of like, hey, how's it going? Bye. But the next episode is probably going to focus like exclusively on the Una trial or something. We'll get the Pike and the Una stuff for sure. Klingons were fantastic, seeing so many of them, such a variety, and yet return to form, which was great. Thank you so much for that, guys. Let's see. I guess the whole premise of the Enterprise being the most stolen ship in Federation history has now been established. It's everybody wants the Enterprise. I'm just saying.
Well, I mean, it shows that Spock got practice.
Yes, here. For the menagerie.
There you go.
Yeah, that's good. I think Spock was interesting in this episode. The emotional aspect of him, and him kind of coming to the conclusion that yes, he's not a typical Vulcan. I kind of accepted that at the end because it was kind of mentioned a few times in the episode, and yeah, I thought that was really well done. Let's see what else. Oh my God, I'm trying to remember now. I mean, the space stuff was always cool to see. Definitely got some good visuals there, which was nice. The establishing shot with all the ships was amazing. We have a video coming out about that, plus we're going to talk about that in just a minute here. Let's see, what else? Oh my God, it was just kind of fun. It was a fun ride, but it was a little bit padded in spots. It was 52 minutes long, which was great to see. But the fight scenes I think they were messy and sloppy because you really couldn't see what was going on. It was just there was a lot of motion blur and like darkness, and I don't know if apparently they wanted to show off the actor who plays Mbanga. He's got like martial arts skills. They wanted some way to show that. So that's what brought this on apparently. No explanation for the green go juice yet. I mean, I'm sure there might be at some point, but I mean, Chapel and Mbanga make a pretty interesting team, I gotta say. Anyway, yeah. It's a good episode. I don't think it has the vibe yet for me of season 1, but it's only one episode in, so we'll have to see. That's about it for me. It was all right. It was all right. It was not the best of Stranger Worlds by any stretch, but
But we saw season 1, so that was a high bar.
exactly, yes.
Right, there's lots of super chats, Stuart. Let's see what you guys think, because your comments fund the channel and help us have these fun debates.
Threefold Pat throws in £5. Thank you so much. With the success of recent Star Trek shows, I have finally caved in and subscribed to Paramount Plus. They must be doing something right.
Even if I hated it, I'd still subscribe, just so I can watch everything personally. I don't feel... That's just me.
Yeah.
Especially if it's in 4K. I'd love to see it in native 4K would be great.
Yeah. Skeleton, Strange New World's #1 fan, $10. Thank you so much.
Amazing.
Concerning the new catchphrase, every story evolves, expands over time. In 1920s, Zorro had no horse. Then in 1957, Disney gave him Tornado. Now it's unimaginable to think of Zorro without Tornado. Indeed. Indeed. But you got to go back and retcon all the other captains that didn't have a catchphrase. Like, I don't know. It's just kind of silly.
Well, it just comes across as a really cringy scene. It's not organic in any way.
Yeah.
It's a joke that they said... Because 09 Pike just said it as a fun action beat.
Punch it.
It wasn't a catchphrase. It was just a thing to end a scene because it sounded cool. Then they made it a catchphrase, and now they have to make a catchphrase upon a catchphrase. Now they're so into it, they want to make a joke about the catchphrase which they themselves invented in Discovery. So it's just a bit cringy having like only 4 years going from like that to this. I mean, it was like it's funny, but it's cringe. But I find musicals a bit cringe when they start singing, and it's like
Yeah.
But it's fine. It's like it works in this tonal this season, right? And I like Spock's thing. Like it's funny. It's just cringe, and cringe can be funny. There's lots of shows and TVs which are cringe.
Yep.
And I kind of, in a small way, appreciate how much of this episode was in the trailer, because we knew the Klingon captain, we knew that scene with Spock. I felt a bit on repeat, but also. That's the stuff I've seen. Excellent. So it's a nice double-edged sword of that.
Yeah. Taylor T, $20. Amazing super chat. Thank you. The ship porn this season is already amazing. I'm excited to see some comparisons and analysis of all the ship angles we got. Well, lucky that you're here. Subscribe to Trekyards.
Yeah, I really got a lot of their Roosevelt class. Roosevelt.
Yeah.
Yes, which we'll talk about, I'm sure, here. I will just say, though, that the space battle at the end is pretty terrible, but they've never been good at space battles. I do a lot of space battles. They're not very good at space battles.
Patrick throws in €22.
Superb.
Again, amazing. It was a good first episode of the season. Not the best, but good. Like that Spock was in command, although stealing, I would have called it borrowing the Enterprise, as not to diminish the impact of the stealing in Star Trek 3. Yeah, a little bit. And the other thing that's not clarified is how many people are still on board the ship. Is it just the bridge crew, or is it there people down in engineering? It's never really explained.
Well, they say essential personnel. And obviously, we've seen in Picard season 3, essential personnel is enough people to run the ship, but also enough to get massacred on screen and still be powerful enough. And then come back and do stuff on the ship. So variable, right? It's the amount of people as plot. But it would have been nice if they'd said borrow it rather than steal, because steal implies not returning. That's kind of the point of a steal. But they are borrowing the Enterprise because they're returning it.
Yes.
Whereas in 3, I guess they weren't necessarily going to return it because it was damaged. They knew they weren't. Anyway, small thing.
Yeah. All right, that's it for the super chats. How about you, Samuel? What did you think of this first episode of season 2?
The thing about this show is that it's a good show, and I don't know if they're going to make a bad episode, a truly bad episode, right? The cast is great, the acting's great, the set design is great, if not still a bit too far from the original art design. The script is silly, and when you have a scene with multiple actors on the bridge, yes, they're somewhat young. But they're very teen in their dialogue styles. Ortega's, banter with Uhura with Spock, it's very teen. It's very light and sassy, and you don't necessarily buy the Starfleet Academy fully, right? There's not that professionalism in most of their scenes. Spock, of course, being an exception, and then Benga, who did a really good job, I thought. So that is it's like Picard being so dark, right? That's a layer on top that you've got to look at a lens through. Once you accept they're not really very professional Starfleet officers some of the time, okay, we accept that, it's okay, moving on, right? Doesn't change Star Trek as a whole. Storyline wise, as I said to you previously, it is a bit bulky. They're doing a lot, and I would have been happy with a third less and focus a bit more. On paper, it's a great episode. Something about the construction doesn't do it any favors. I think in quite a lot of ways it doesn't do itself any favors, but these I think are things in the editing and the use of the LED wall sort of limiting you a bit, you know, having like 5 scenes in the same looking and feeling, you know, planet set. It all looks the same, it all feels the same, it all feels very flat. That's a large chunk of the middle. You don't really get much of it, you know, one's at night, one's at day, but apart from that, it's all kind of the same thing. It doesn't feel any different. That doesn't help it kind of whatever, and then they go into the cave, and it's so dark you can't even see. Like, I was watching on a sofa 3 foot, 4 foot from the TV. I guessed from context it was a spaceship, but I could not see it was a spaceship because it was too contrasty, too dark, too whatever. The computer screen is fine, but that's not how you watch TV. You watch it on a sofa on a TV, right? So there's a few odd choices, but it's a cave, it's fine, but there's a few things like that that are a bit odd. I think the fight scene is the worst part of the episode by an absolute mile. It's boring. It's anticlimactic. The Klingons look and feel stupid. They've all got guns, or they would do. We saw them, you know, they should all have disruptors. They should all have.
Well, they said
Batargs.
There's 30 Klingons on board on the bridge and in engineering. They have disruptors.
Well, I say 30
rifles.
On the bridge. I don't know if that's the whole ship.
Well, no, they said 30 on the bridge and engineering. Is what they said.
And so, 12 in that one corridor, apparently, unarmed.
Yeah.
So it's not a very good scene. And Mbenga, he had a lot of weight behind it. I'll give him credit. The actor pulled off I fucking hate these Klingons, but not in a let them die. Well, yeah, more in a let them die away from Kirk versus like stabby murder. Like he enjoyed. I get an excuse to beat them up. Cool. Versus. So but you know, Chapel's a tiny lady, and when she elbows a Klingon, it's like that's not gonna. I don't really buy. That's hurting them really, even with super strength. And also, what the hell's that, right? That's a giant thing. But it's obviously a giant plot point, right? They introduce a lot of things. It's a full episode of things. And that fight scene is very long. It's longer the second time, and it was long the first time. And honestly, I think the episode gets worse the longer it goes. I think the first bit is pretty strong, the setup, because it's all, like you said, it's the ensemble cast, it's about exploration. But as soon as it sort of focuses on Mbenga and Chapel, it kind of gets stuck in this little void of it's okay, and then it keeps going into the firefight, and then it ends okay, and then it's fun at the end. Like that like 20 minutes, 18 minutes is not very good. It's okay, but it's another good stuff, right? So it's a really odd episode structurally, but Klingons, hey, great. Excellent, good, well done. It's not rocket science to write Klingons. It really isn't. But yeah, they didn't write the same base Klingons. They had a bit of flair between them. There was a little bit of variety. Good, you know, that was good, and I really hope to see more. Klingon captain, people keep calling him out. Did a great job. You know, strong, bold, not aggressive. He's not there to fight. I love that vibe. I really hope we see him again. I think we will. And the fact that, you know, anybody at this part of the timeline, because, 2 years ago, this was a gruesome war, where he was, I guess, had a bald face, bald head, whatever, and pew pew doing dramatic things, right? And now here he is, happily, laughingly sharing a beer with a ostensibly Starfleet captain, right? That wouldn't have felt right back then. It would feel right in TOS. So I appreciate they skipped all the Discovery inference and just skipped to the TOS vibe, because that worked tremendously well. And I want to see scenes with Pike just in the bar with the Klingon, or on a planet, or doing negotiations. That could be really rich storytelling. And I think that's a hint as to the tone, right? So there's some really good stuff there. It's just not a conducive whole. It's more many small pieces. Some that work, some that don't work, some that really work, some that really don't work. A lot to say, Stuart, but it's quite a lot of an episode.
Perfect.
Oh,
Said a lot.
and
Oh, geez, here we
as
go.
I remembered just a second ago, Mbenga says many years ago he was in a battle with the Klingons and he saw the blood rain. That's before the war. So when was this giant massacre battle? Years ago, when they hadn't seen the Klingons almost at all for 60 years pre-discovery. Just saying. It's like a 7-month war. Like 2 years ago. Wasn't years and years ago. Like he was saying like 5 years or whatever. It's weird.
Well, when we get there, we'll find out.
Because he was on the Enterprise, presumably. Yeah, when we get there. Flashbacks.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Yes.
All right. Let's see. Ozzy throws in $2 every Thursday. Blood, wine, and pizza. Great combination. All right. Let's get to the
What a blood wine boat be like.
Oh, I know, right? Anyway, establishing shot. Starbase 1. And we got a bunch of ships here. We see the single nacelled ship from season 1. We see the Crossfield class upside down docked. Oh wait, you missed that, didn't you?
Crossfield class.
I still think it's the Crossfield class. That's a whole conversation.
Yes.
We have a video coming up about it Saturday.
And isn't it great, Stuart, that they're being escorted by the secret stealth drones, the Section 31 secret stealth drones, because that's what they all are. The mega secret thousands of drones on top of secret Section 31 ships just fly, just chill.
They're invisible. Nobody can see them. Nobody's looking at the windows, and sensors can't detect them. So
it's
fine.
Let's throw every asset we have, even if half of them don't make sense. So I'll give them credit for a cool scene, because it is a cool scene. But guys, secret.
Patrick puts in €11. Oh, and on another note, still very much in love with Nurse Chapel. Yes. The fighting scenes were not my favorite, but in her belt. Yeah.
That's the thing. The acting is great. That scene with her and the airlock is great. Could have kissed. Almost had that vibe. But yeah, really strong. I mean, they lucked out on all their actors. Or they cast really strongly, because boy, good for them.
But we got a voiceover, a captain's log from Captain Pike saying that the ship is getting some upgrades and most of the crew is on shore leave. And we find out that Chief Fleet Inspector, Commander Pelia, is on board. And her team from Operational Support Services. And so it's worth stating that was her role. And then by the end of this, she noticed they didn't have a or a chief engineer, and she's all on board. And it very much reminded me of Scotty. I like this ship. It's exciting. She basically says the same thing. But it seems I'm calling it right now. I'm calling it right now that she's trained Scotty at Starfleet, and she's going to recommend him for the Enterprise when she leaves. I'll bet you any money. Just saying.
I like he gets her his own merit, but
well, he was her best student. He is getting there.
Years ago. Yeah, small. I get it. It's fine. Would you want to include Scotty in the scene then? Like bring him in deliberately?
Yeah.
Christian.
Yeah.
No. Also, doesn't it now seem odd? And I also caught those things in rewatch because you don't know who that dialogue just doesn't mean anything first time. Spock doesn't know who she is. Like really know who she is. Like her race would be in her file. You know, name, race, planet of origin.
I know.
That's the first 3 things you say.
I said that to Sylvia, but again, you're not reading. They're just on board to do their inspections.
But that's because I thought she was some random person. She's the lead inspector. Spock would absolutely know that about her. Not a question in my mind. They're not doing anything, right?
Unless it's not in her file. She didn't tell anybody. And she's guilty of the same thing that Una is. Just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also, they do say the admirals are feeling a bit dodge right now. Right from the start. I didn't catch it first time because it's an offhand comment. But yes, we're right there. Things are not going well. Dumb. It's good.
Yeah, there's a certain tension.
And boy, first scene. If that's not the season arc, we don't know who the Gorns are, but we're going to have a war with them. Canon.
Yeah. Anyway, we get a scene with Pike talking to Una, seeing if she's contacted the one lawyer that might take up her case, and she hasn't got any answer from her. And Pike's requests to talk to her have also gone unanswered. So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna leave. It's gonna take 3 days to get across the quadrant. Una says, and he's like, no, only 2.5 with the new shuttles. So he's gonna go in person and talk to her and try to get her to sign on to represent Una. So, who this person is, we don't know. Is it somebody we know? Maybe. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, first time watching, the scene feels important. Second time, I almost ignored it. No offense to it, but neither do a great job in the scene. It's very just moving on. No offense to them, just moving on, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of padding almost. But first time Spock's been left in charge of the Enterprise. Considering he's a lieutenant.
Yeah.
Big for him. But again, it's also being... You're in command. In dry dock. Fair enough.
Yeah. Pike's not... Pike doesn't think it's going to happen in 3 days, so it's like,
you're in dry dock, Spock. Nothing will happen. Which I do appreciate the audience is thinking... This is called a TV show, Pike.
Yeah.
Where's your time crystal now, Pike? Where's your answers to the future now?
All right, and then we get Spock showing signs of stress, and then M'Benga kind of says, you know what, when you broke down your barriers to fight the Gorn, you kind of compromised your emotional, barriers that Vulcans put up. So I got a really good idea. I'm going to give you a Vulcan lyre that you can play as a human therapy to channel your emotions into creating music. That's great. It's like, that's how he got his lyre, I guess. So I guess M'Benga just had one around, which is fine.
Yeah, that just occurred. Yeah, it just occurred to me. He just didn't have sound.
Yeah.
Nor are
Yeah, exactly.
Actively in the same way. And do you think Spock would take a replicated lyre? I'm assuming Spock's been complaining about this for several weeks, and he prepped this as a medical solution. It's very random to have that, but it is sweet. We know that from his future. It's lovely. I like it. Well, I found his sentiment of Spock plays a piece, and Benga's like, beautiful. Like, no, it's like a chord.
He's just
don't patronize him. Jesus Christ. It's as if
he says lovely.
It's not
for the record.
But it's like they dubbed in some. They're expecting right, Ether, just do something. Expecting a cool musical thing, and there's nothing cool there. Just feels a bit disingenuous.
But it does bring his heart rate down until the door opens and Chapel comes in, and it goes right back up.
Very Strange New Worlds humor.
Yeah.
Mr. Spock, why is your blood pressure? Why is your blood changing location? What?
Oh, we went there, did you?
Well, I didn't go there. Spock's blood went there. The problem is that, like, we don't have a love triangle post season 1. He chose to be with his person who he was going to marry. I don't remember them leaving him wanting her in the same way. I don't know why they've set this up so strongly right from episode 1. I thought we kind of moved on. It wasn't that full on. Because here he's... Maybe because the Gorn stuff, he lost that mental barrier. But now it's just like lusty stuff. You know, he clearly does fancy his Vulcan wife to be. This came out so strong. This is like an episode 6 thing or a 4 thing. Why is it episode 1? Unless we're going to burn through it. So I don't quite get why it was this full on.
And Jill, yes, we know he already knew how to play because he studied music, but he wasn't playing a tune. He was literally just plucking at the strings. That's what Samuel was saying.
Like I say, like a chord. Just like it's just
And Scottish Nightmare says the issue with this is he had the harp. Well, it's not a harp; it's lyre for the first. Anyway, in his quarters in Discovery, yes, he did, but that was just to establish these are the things that Spock had in TOS. Maybe they got destroyed in all the shit that the Enterprise has gone through, and he doesn't have one now.
Look. Have you seen Encanto, Stuart?
Have I seen what?
Encanto.
No, I have not.
Well, there's a great song called We Don't Talk About Bruno. It's a great song. We don't talk about Discovery. Moving on.
Perfect.
Yes.
Anyway, Chapel's going to go away for a few months. Fellowship in archaeological medicine, I guess, on Vulcan. She's thinking about applying. There you go. she wants to get off the ship and head over to Vulcan.
I assume that's Spock related. A slight don't need this tension right now.
Yeah.
But by the same token, she doesn't start on the Enterprise in any of the other shows. So I'm pretty sure she meets her husband, she has another life, and they go to the Enterprise. And I'm 90% sure he's an archaeologist.
Yeah.
So I like that tie-in. Also, give him credit here for the 13 seconds of this scene. These two people share a genuine we've known each other for years moment that really comes across that I didn't necessarily get from season 1. So I appreciate their moment here because it's well done.
Yeah. The next scene's great because there's people on the bridge checking stuff out, and the one guy's like, the pitch and yaw controls are reversed from standard, and I just instantly thought Star Trek Resurgence and all the people complaining about the y-axis. And it's like, yeah, some people do things a little bit differently. But no, it was great to see them calling out the changes that have been made, and I mean, people are gonna change things to the way that work best for them. She's like, I don't like to get shot, so I just want to be able to use the controls quickly. But it's against regulation, I guess, or highly irregular.
Although they have been in the starbase for 3 months, they said. So why are they finally doing this now?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I do like the. I almost thought it was a Retnax joke, but he's got little engineering goggles. Honestly,
I just assumed it was for fine circuitry.
Yeah, but it almost looks like glass. That's what I thought the first time.
Yeah.
I kind of wish this whole scene was cut. I don't think it adds a ton to the episode. It's kind of a little bit hollow. But I do like the video, because in video games you invert the axes. I took that as a joke. I play inverted. It's kind of funny, but I probably would have cut this scene. Yeah.
Well, I mean, the next one with installing the comms patch, I love how Uhura is like, no, this is my station. How many times did you get an incoming hail in Starbase? Well, there it is. But it actually speaks to the dedication at the end, kind of showing the strength of Uhura's character. She's got a job to do. She's going to do her job. She's kind of protective of her area. I thought that worked out fairly well. So
a bit unnecessarily aggressive, though, because he's just trying to do his job, and it would be on the schedule. She knows this is going to happen. It's what's meant to happen. It's standard procedure. She's not going to get a call. Just because she did get a call doesn't mean he's not right. She could have handled it more professionally. But she is an ensign, so she's allowed to not know what she's doing so much. But yes, it definitely shows she's very OCD and very I made it, guys. Because, one of the 12 colonies. This is a very, very good position to be in. Especially after her parents died in a shuttle crash.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Tony Armstrong, $10.
Thank you.
I call my significant other Imzadi. We frequently say no words when our feelings are beyond expression. When Spock said that trigger moment, ever have a personal emotional attachment to a scene? A lot of times, honestly. But yeah, that's great.
It's just tricky when the whole thing's a cheating thing. His entire plot is he fancies this new girl because she's cute. So the whole thing's wrapped in a bit of a dodge feeling, and we know they never get together even in TOS. So it's a bit, he's a bit of a scumbag by being that fancying her. So it doesn't quite read as cute as it could have done. You know what I mean? It's tricky knowing some things in the future because it's
Let me move on to Spock's quarters.
No, I get why it's good in theory. It's just I think it could have been written a bit sharper, a bit quicker, a bit less. Conceptually it's good. I just don't think it's good as it could have been.
Gotcha.
And it's a bit long. In second watch, first watch is fine, but second watch is a little bit long.
Anyway, Uhura comes down and tells Spock that there's a distress call and it's from La'an. He's like, "Why didn't you just message me?" She's like, "Well, internal comms are down," and she's annoyed by it.
And his reaction's like, "Fair enough."
Oh yeah, shit. He's a communicator.
No, well, it depends if they tap into the internal comms or not. But
they probably would, yeah.
Well, why not use a station's communication? Because you could reroute.
Yeah.
And no one lets him play his damn not harp. Never gets to play it.
Then he gets denied. He gets shot down by Admiral April, saying, "Nope, you're not going to go do that because very delicate treaty there. This is the Klingons' turn. In 30 days, you can go check it out. Your person's going to have to fend for themselves until then. And now we know, like, I think if there was no problem on the Gorn front, he might have been more inclined to say, okay, let's go investigate. But now we know the reasoning for this. And, yeah. I thought that was great, actually, at the end, where it's like, oh, there's a reason that they didn't want a war on two fronts. Okay, that makes sense. But I love how they're like time sharing or, sharing custody of this planet with the Klingons as part of the treaty because it is right on the border. I think that's great. And yeah, any ship going there would be considered an act of war at this time. Let's see, what is the planet's name? I don't even know. It's a lithium mining colony.
No, it works. This scene works better second time because let's not remove one of our 12 best ships.
Yeah.
To the edge of edge of a star system where we need them to fight the Gorn, who we don't know anything about. Fight them in a couple of days or day. But the subtext is, let her die. Unfortunately, clearly La'an wouldn't be. She got security officer of one of the 12 colonies. He's saying she's worth sacrificing because clearly if she's saying help, there's help needed. And there's
he also kind of gives her the
tone.
stab of, keep in mind she asked for the time off, so it's kind of her fault that she's not.
He says former Starfleet officer. It's like, no sir, sabbaticaled officer. Calm the hell down. So there is that dark tone when you watch it again. Let her die. And of course, dark situation takes you 6 days, 12 days, 14 days to get there. Which it would. It wouldn't be 3 days, wouldn't be 2 days, wouldn't be a day. It'd take you 10, 12, 15, 30 days. She'll be dead by then. Even if it did go. So it's pretty, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, is it implying to us that the Gorn are a worse threat than the Klingons? Because anything on this planet could start a war. And he's saying, leave it, let it happen. Is that what they're telling us?
No, they might not know the potential for a Gorn war, first of all. Second of all, to fight a war on two fronts, you're basically screwed. You're dividing your forces.
That's what I'm saying. If they don't stop it, they're screwed. That's what I'm saying. He doesn't send anyone to stop this problem, which means he's letting a Klingon war happen versus having one ship less for a Gorn war. Like, he's risking a war with the Klingons.
There's no indication that it's a problem with the Klingons. She's just in trouble and has a distress call. So there's no, like, the Klingons are causing trouble, we need to go solve this. It's just kind of like, she's in trouble, too bad.
But we know there are no Federation ships there. It's a Klingon territory right now for 30 days. What good things could be happening? Is it not? It seems risky.
It's a rogue not a rogue, but it's a
timeshare.
It's a mining colony. It's just, you see the people that are there. It's a rough environment.
But as he says, if one ship turns up, we'll start a war. So it is that precipice of war. And La'an's there. La'an is a Starfleet officer. Yeah. Anyway, they decide yes, Jill. Ston, love quadruple. Yes. Dear me.
They decide to go and save her as a team because apparently whoever sent it knew their exact location because it was being directly to them, knew their maintenance schedule, as it was said.
Starwiss will not pick it up. How is she sending a comm from across the galaxy? On a communicator, probably. I didn't think this, but is it a bit weird that Spock is doing command decisions via committee?
They're all the same rank, though.
And Benga's high rank, surely?
No, he's just... Who is?
And Benga, surely? He'll be a high ranking officer?
Not sure.
I mean, medicals tend to be a higher. Let me look.
Anyway, yeah, it's like he was put temporary command. He should be. I like that he asked his crew, though.
Yeah, I kind of liked it as well, but it does feel a bit weak on his part. But he's not a command officer. He's remember in TOS he's a second in command. In this he's science officer. There isn't a command track directly from there. So it's
just a lieutenant and who was worried about getting the ship for 3 days.
Yeah,
because like you even said, you don't sound excited.
So I kind of liked it personally.
Yeah, I did too. Dennis Hernandez, $5. Was the faux ship salvaged? ISS Disco Parts. Well, we have some theories about that rogue ship or that faux ship, as you put it. Watch Saturday. Watch Saturday.
Yeah, it's a good episode. It's a good episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like the scene in general. Sassy Spock be Spock. But boy, ballsy to steal a ship. I mean, he should get court-martialed for this.
Yeah, Jill says that Mbanga is a commander, full commander, and so is Chapel.
Chapel wouldn't be a full commander. Or she wouldn't be a nurse. She'd be a doctor.
Don't know.
Chapel? Chapel outranks everyone in the ship. Literally, everyone on the ship.
Anyway, they sabotage the cooling system, and that causes a fake warp core breach, and everybody's asked to evacuate the ship. Well, non-essential personnel to evacuate, to which Pelia goes up to the bridge, and this is a great scene for introduction to her.
Spock is so like, what? Oh shit.
Yeah.
What? No, stop. Hold on,
Yeah.
calm down. Although, Stuart, dark bridge much?
Oh, I know.
I mean, there's plenty of pitch black on this bridge.
Skeleton Strange New World's #1 fan throws in $5. It's Spock's first command. He's unsure, wants his staff's inputs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it.
And I love how she's like, do you want me to get off the ship really when there's a warp, or like a textbook example of a warp core breach?
So
you know that
textbook. And I wrote the textbook almost.
Yeah. You know that I teach, what does she say here? You know I teach a course in warp core breaches at the Academy, yes?
Oh, cool. A 13-week course. 5 days a week. It's very intense.
And she's like, heightened temperatures will often cause, around the intermex chamber, will often cause a false warning. And that's exactly what's happening here. And I love the whole, can you vent plasma into out of the nacelles? She's like, I could. Should I? That acting was beautiful.
Yeah,
and she also says that you're Spock, you're Amanda Grayson's kid, and he's like, "How did you?"
Shush.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
It's a funny old scene because it's you imagine the tension stealing one of the 12 colonies, to which there's literally a fleet at the starbase that could grab them, and at Warp 5 anyone can't run them. This random lady they've probably not even met walks on, starts calling them out in a very odd way. Spock is trying his hardest not to lie, although he does lie actively in this scene. He says, "I'm not sure what you're referring to." Bullshit. You clearly are, Spock. Don't lie to her. Which then, well, it's funny she says you can't lie, but he literally just lied. Like, he does know.
He omitted. He didn't lie.
But that's the point. They can. Yeah, she's
Alex.
Oh.
Alex A. $5. Faux ship, I assume, made of salvaged war wreckage, glued together in a cave to last long enough for their false flag mission. That's why hard to identify. You say that, but then it's like also ducking and diving between asteroids, firing back at the Enterprise. You would think it wouldn't have a lot of power for a lot of hits. I mean, the hits weren't very powerful, probably.
No, they we'll get into it later. It's a funny old thing.
Yes. So we talk about that Saturday. That's our.
The problem with that theory is that Starfleet would radiometrically date the wreckage and say, why is this part of the ship 100 years old? Why is this part 20 years old? Why is this part 1 year old? The whole point of it is to be an entirely flawless ship.
Yeah.
Because they would detect, this is a war-starting ship, so it would need to be perfectly acceptable. So it can't just be, oh, this used to be the SS Potemkin. It was lost 7 months ago in the war. Why? Well, we haven't had it for 7 months. This must be a dodgy thing, right? So it has to, being built kind of lets them do their own thing a little bit, but yeah, it's a. Yeah. Anyway, so this lady, odd, I think is a fair way of saying it.
Yeah.
She's not a very fast talker. She's one of the slowest talkers. So the scenes with her certainly drag on a little bit, especially in this scene when there's maybe tension and she's incredibly slow. I don't know if that's her real voice, if she's doing a character voice. I don't know who she is. I think this scene she's kind of obnoxious. The last scene, I think she's much better. But here she's also playing. Like, I get the tension here. I'm 50-50 on her. She feels very, another funny character. Go! And it's like, oh, okay. But at least she's got more of an interesting backstory. Over 100 years since 100 since she worked on a ship. So she could easily be 150, 200. There's zero knowledge of beyond that. A new species, a new idea. Really interesting potential backstory. I just wish she spoke a little bit faster because it's kind of annoying.
I love how Hora's like, oh, that's what that accent is. You're a lanthanite. Ah!
Yeah.
Nice.
Save your makeup though. No forehead of the week. But I mean, but ballsy. A, I'm going to help you steal it. B, here's a better way of doing it. And C, let me be a chief engineer. I've already, and at the end she's like, I've already quit my job. You've already got me. What? Does Pike get a say? Guess not. He walks on. Got a new chief engineer. What? Oh, hi. So yeah, I'm 50-50.
Anyway,
I think maybe better than Jet Reno first time. She's less mean than Jet Reno, who was just a bit of a meanie. She at least has a better... She means well more, but also boredom can let you just say, adventure.
I think they're both fantastic characters, personally, but hey.
Very similar. I think I like
yeah. The next shot I love, because you hear the big thunk, and then you see from inside Starbase.
Farragut.
They pan right past the Farragut, which was parked there as well, which is awesome. Well, might not be the Farragut, but it's the same class.
We know what we meant, Stuart. Yeah. And this is a hell of a way of using the LED wall. It's just two guys, a table, some chairs, and one console. And they spin the damn camera, and it's like, wow, all this set.
And then the docking clamps disengage, and I don't know if it's because they were in a hurry, but one of the clamps like slams back down on the hull and like drags along it for a second. And it's like that's bad. And there's these two doors, these oval-shaped doors that are not on the actual ship, but that's where the docking clamps were. And now there's those things there. We're gonna have to keep an eye and see if those stay there. Anyway.
Yeah, they won't be there next week. Actually, they might not be there this episode. They might just be between scenes. And didn't they just invent already those hatches? What are these things? Because they're giant.
Yeah.
They like to get cars down. It's a cool shot though. I do like the way the ship turns, but I kept thinking, are they smashing into the drones? Because Ortega's is not caring. She's not evading, right? I want to see little explosions, little drones hitting as the ship smashes them. But that's just me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it goes up. Really nice idea. There is no A, B, C, X, Y, Z in space. Go. It's cool. It's a good shot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. So they're going to... The planet's name is Kajitar. There you go. Kajitar system. And warp factor 5. It's like you're in no hurry then, apparently. All right, cool.
Cruising speed's warp 7. You got to get to the edge of space. Edge of Federation space. That's like 2 weeks away at warp 5.
Well, the edge of the quadrant, not necessarily.
I know they say the edge of the edge of Klingon space. It could be the nearest Klingon space, but it's still. Yes. This is Earth star. This is Earth solar system. So if the edge of Klingon space is 2 days away, we're fucked. It's going to be several weeks away. I wish you'd said like warp 9, push the engines, and then maybe the engineer turned around and said, "Warp 9? I'll get you warp 9.3."
Yeah, that would have been great. And she wouldn't have said it like that. That's kind of silly.
Well, it's pretty close, actually.
Yeah, and then the whole, what's your thing? My thing. You gotta have a thing. And then hers was, I'm workshopping Vamoose.
It kind of worked for her, though.
But it's up to you. Yeah, exactly.
And I thought the actor did a very good job of, but it's about you. Really nice, like, I have my fun, but have your moment. That was very...
yeah.
What's the opposite? Disingenuous. It was very ingenuous.
No pressure.
Yeah, that was a bit silly, but that's fine.
I would like the ship to go now.
It's very Vulcan. And a fun warp out. And then, this is one thing I said as I was watching it out loud, because I'm a ridiculous person. The advantage of Strange New Worlds is that to use their LED wall tech, which as we know, they create a giant space in Toronto with a giant LED wall, which is what they use on Mandalorian. And that's how they filmed a large chunk of Discovery seasons 4, 5, and this season's 1 and 2. It allows them to project an image of a set and have the actors walk on the set. There you go. The great advantage of that is that unlike a lot of other TV shows where they use a green screen, they finish it in post. And so if they run out of time in post, they have to cut corners and just miss stuff out. This show has to finish the sets, like almost finish them before they shoot. And so by the time they get to the VFX portion months later, all the stuff is over half, 3/4, mostly finished. So they are very good at throwing these establishing shots because the sets are already there beforehand. The workflow is much more conducive. You know, Picard season 3 had limited visual effects. This thing just throws them at us and doesn't worry about it because they have to do them for other scenes. So it's a very, very good. Because these scenes are great to see the set, to see the vibe is lovely, right? Because already built.
Yeah. And Murloc says, "Why did they go up? Because that's the shortest way to get there. It's space.
Yeah, it's great.
That's why.
It's different.
Yeah.
And the station's tall, so it's actually a nice visual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, drinking contest.
Read Alan Parr's comment. That's funny.
Spock was channeling his inner Packwood there. Make the ship go. Yeah, I've heard that.
Ooh, I'm going to finish the poll, Stuart, because we're at 115 votes. I asked you all, was this episode something that lived up to the hype and the high quality of season 1? Yes! 54% says it did. 41% said maybe not quite as good. And 4% worse. Super equal, Stuart. What do you think?
I'm not surprised. Really not surprised.
But no one really thought it was worse.
I thought OK would maybe get a little bit higher, but yeah, I think compared to most season 1 episodes, this one was just kind of all right. So, 79 likes, guys, with 88 of you here. That's pretty damn good. But let's hit that like button if you haven't already. Let's try to get to 100 likes. We love the interaction and the way you guys are participating, so please keep it up. Super chat away. We really need and love that support. So help us out in any way you can. We do read them all, so bear that in mind.
We have great comments, guys, so we want to hear.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a new poll up as well, so go vote on that if you have the time, which you should. What do you think of the new chief engineer? Loved her, liked her. She was okay. Matt didn't work for me.
Oh.
Perfect. Go vote. All right. Yeah, drinking contest, and then the lady sits down and she's like, "You know what I actually want? I want that meeting." She's like, "Fine, I'll see what I can do." And then Mbanga shows up. But it was great seeing Klingons back, and quite a few of them in the crowd. It was nice. I was pleasantly surprised. We got Klingons that look like Klingons, and that's great.
Which you shouldn't be surprised about.
But we are.
Yeah. I mean, this was a really great choice to be the first guy. His makeup is phenomenal. It's so well blended, and the choice of his extreme close-ups highlights the... you guys did good. Plus, he has, I think they're called cornrows, and a beard. Very different look, which is nice to show you can... As long as you get this bit right, this is quite flexible, and great. His vibe's great, although quite a pansy Klingon to be knocked out by, in theory, 2 or 3 things of blood wine. I assume that it's like a weird, like, spiked wine on purpose, like a game, like, F you, we're drinking poison, haha! But that's fine. But it's a fun scene. The fact that we show Klingons straight away, and a lot of extras are Klingons in the scene. This isn't just some guy in a bar. This is a Klingon colony. You feel it. Even if your brain doesn't necessarily say, "Oh, everyone's a Klingon," most of them are Klingons. So that's a lot of commitment. Even though costumes Klingon-esque. Good job on their whatever. No, really good. The lady comes in. We'll talk about the makeup another day. The second time I watched it, I got what the hell they were doing. She's then buying her chat. I guess she's the middle person, and she's trying to buy a discussion with the guy so she can get a direct whatever. I guess.
Yeah.
Can't tell without context. Yeah, so many Klingons in this scene. Goodness. No, it's great. Yeah, and Benga's just there. Hello. Not enough humans, I think, in this colony. It feels a bit too Klingon-y.
Well, it's Klingons' time to be there, so...
It is, but
most humans would have buggered off, I think.
But they say there's a joint coalition of ex-warriors who are making up this bad threat, so Like, just because always I'm saying they would stand out a bit more. They don't feel like they stand out at all. If they're all Klingons and Arn would stand out really much. And then you get a very, very clearly LED wall screen scene where everyone's got incredibly flat backgrounds. It's like, that's the problem with LED wall, it's just like flat. And also lit really bland, you know? Because if you light the background very dark, guess what? You're filming a dark background. You can't do anything with it. So they've got to film the LED wall with heightened black levels. So it becomes a kind of murky grey. And it's obviously like early day, so it can't be very bright. So it's a very murky, unattractive scene of all the same kind of colour. But good for them for any new costumes. Costumes are nice.
And we get the shocking surprise that Spock stole the Enterprise. Oh my god. And that Uhura's an ensign. But the main part of this conversation is talking about this planet, or this colony supplying dilithium to both sides during the war. And then this group called the Circle, Broken Circle, was formed. And once the war stopped, so did the high prices for dilithium, because war is good for business. So they're trying to reestablish a war. And then they find out, like a few days ago, there was an explosion at the mine, and now like half the town is sick from exposure to radiation. And it says it can be created by photon torpedoes. It's not from dilithium. So, yeah. And she was there for that little girl that was in season 1 that they saved from the Gorn, and they found her parents, and yay, but no, the parents are sick, so.
Not yay, yes.
Yeah.
But I quite like this exposition. It's quite measured, quite balanced. I was waiting to hear the Ferengi here.
I did too. Yeah.
Just
war is good for business, and these people are all about profit. Yeah,
yes.
I expected something like that too.
Because it's such a side con, you could have had one Ferengi show up and not be... As long as I don't meet the Federation people, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine either way. Just the way they framed it was kind of like, oh, it's... Other people can be scummy with war. Good.
And Pumpkin Spice, no, it's called the Broken Circle, not just the Circle. So.
Yes.
They're not ripping off the S9.
But yeah, they go help medical facility, which again is just very clearly the LED wall with some stuff in the middle. These scenes aren't visually very good. Not really, really. And I guess they're all humans, I guess? So there are many people here. Because clearly there's a... Are they miners? If this is a dilithium planet, why is
No,
this...
they all look pretty old. I don't think they're all miners.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Why are the Gorn survivors on a dilithium planet when they could be anywhere?
You didn't get it, but that's okay.
Oh, not... There's a Galaxy Quest joke later on.
There is?
Yeah.
What, a rock monster?
No.
Keeping your shirt on? Or taking your shirt off?
No, but there is a very... The human says it in a similar way. But yeah, you meet the parents. It's the film. Heals them, but not. And when the Klingon lady comes in, for some reason, the tone of this scene, I thought was a joke.
Mm-hmm.
It just doesn't, like... I don't know. This scene's a weird scene. It's like, we're going to walk up and hello. Are you new here? Yes. Come with us. No. Prisoners. What? It's like, okay. So chill, right? It's very
And
weird.
Scottish Nightmare, yes, we know the Ferengi are undiscovered at this point. That's not the point.
That's
They
why
were
I
in
love it.
fucking Enterprise, for Christ's sakes.
They're around.
They're around, but there's people, the Federation just doesn't know much about them, or that they're called Ferengi, necessarily.
Yeah, you can see them, you just can't meet them. Have you seen the Gorn in this season?
Oh, God.
Let's not pretend they're gonna do shit, if whatever. Wrath of Khan uniforms in season 1? Pike seeing his own death? You know. But I like the lady's Klingon thing. It's weird. Cool makeup too. Yeah, weird little scene here. Super underwhelming. And then pan to place.
Again, this looks like the number of Discovery sets we've already seen.
And it's really, this is just too dark. Also feels like Mordor.
Yeah.
And this
scene, a mining colony. I guess they got the vibe down, but I didn't like any of it.
Well, we don't see any mining or equipment. Well, we see a laser. But yeah, this scene is just weird. Visually, it wasn't a good choice, I don't think. And you can see the screen caps, guys. I mean, it's very dark.
Yeah.
And also the way they light the one Klingon, he looks shiny as all hell, which is not a good look for his makeup. It does look a bit weird. But Lalan's fine. I mean, good, bluffing is a good Klingon trait. And I said to you in our other review, I would have, if I had known this scene, I would have put money. I would have tried to organise this box for the phasers. Boy, that should have had a cage laser in it.
Just one, yeah.
Just one. Because there'd be loads around, in theory. And it's such like a throwaway moment, like freeze and you won't. It's like in Discovery, they throw Universal Translator in. It's like, oh, it's the one from the US. Holy shit. Like, throwaway moment. It's a thing of phases. But yeah, she's being really scummy here with her buyer.
Then the antimatter detonation switch, which is not a thing.
Yeah, it would have helped if they just pulled out a tricord and scanned it. That's a hair trimmer. No, it's not. But it was weird to have this scene, like 3 episodes from Picard, the exact same scene.
Yeah.
But they're right together, right? But I appreciate he appreciates it. It's like this is a Klingon-y move, you know, F you. I'm not sure why she clarifies, don't make me destroy your bottom halves. What? You're holding it above your head. It's going to blow up my head and some of you. That didn't really make sense.
Grant McGregor, $5. Is that actress who played the Klingon from... Is that actress who played the Klingon was Calypso from Xena, right? Don't know. Could be.
I've never seen Xena. Let's have a look.
Hit that like button, guys. We need 11 more likes to get to 100. Now's the time.
That is a fiery-looking blonde.
Yes.
Heidi Hudson Leak.
There you go.
That is a that's a lady. I Google her name in Star Trek and nothing comes up, so that's not really a good sign.
Yeah.
The last thing she was in was in 2018, so no.
Then they, yeah. Callisto, yeah. Anyway, then they call up to Chief J, which is Transporter Chief J, who's like a 12-year-old.
Who is not the same as Kyle, who's the now Asian who was white. Cage, TOS, whatever.
Yeah.
Yes, very small person.
But small problem, they've lost tracking on Mbanga and Nurse Chapel.
Yes.
So, been missing for about an hour.
Yeah.
New character. Anyway, moving on.
Yes.
And then Cave Person, how'd they get that down here? I think they built it, blah, blah, blah.
I don't think they did. Benga. I don't think they did, mate.
I don't think they did.
He's not an engineer, though, in fairness. So
I know. I think they were repairing it. And yeah, they built it from scratch to do all the interiors and all the displays and everything. It's just a little much.
And the Jeffries tubes and the 14... And the 13 decks, Stuart! They manually built over 13 decks. And they built a warp... Yeah, no. Like I said, they pitched as a, I think, which means, don't listen to them, he doesn't know. They clearly got wreckage or stole 2 ships and put them together. Whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a really odd shot, because we pan, and it's meant to feel amazing, but that shot is so poorly lit, you don't know what the hell's happening. I assumed it was a spaceship from context. You can't see a spaceship in this shot. I'm sorry. Even if I brighten it, it's really hard to see. Like, it's just not... It's a lot of visual noise, and you sort of see warp engines, and you barely see a saucer. It's a really, really poorly composite shot. There should have been some spotlights on it, a la TMP, or some overlighting. Really bad shot. Sorry. That's why I have to do the shot again, the next shot, to highlight it's actually a ship. Literally, there's 2 shots in a row of the same thing, because they weren't good enough to show it the first time. And now we're on Discovery sets.
Yeah, Alpha 101, do you know what the starship in the cave is called? No, we don't get a ship name. We get a class.
Yeah, we can see a registry. I think it's like 1266. It's a pretty medium to low registry. You can see it in one of the shots.
Yeah.
But no, there's no name on the bottom of the saucer, a la the Discovery would have either. We should just don't put it on, like, but you know.
Keith Morgan says, missing for an hour and don't think about telling Spock. No, you don't want to beep down to the communicator if he's like trying to stay hidden or dealing with somebody. You wait for him to call in at his regular interval to check.
I mean, it could be on silent.
You don't have that. You know that.
I tried never to call me at work. Sorry, Captain. We need to It's okay. We're having dinner. Yeah, they do stuff.
Then we get him helping a Klingon, and he's like, "How do you know Klingon anatomy? I've helped kill Klingons before. Where?"
Wait, what did you say?
He says,
I helped kill Klingons before.
"No, I helped heal Klingons."
Oh, Klingons. That's a really dark moment.
And he says, "Years ago, I was stationed on the moon of Jigjao." Years ago, could be 2 years ago, literally. Just saying. No indication of time, just years.
Yeah, I like the guys just wearing like super modern zipper based got from Goodwill. You know what I mean? It's so like minor, rustic.
Yeah.
Really I mean, look at that head ridge. My goodness, that is it's like a ceiling of a chapel. Damn, his eyebrows go.
But chapel's right there, and I don't see her ceiling. What?
How do you make that more
You're talking about chapels. What? Moving on.
If only you could see her front porch if it was. But I like this guy's acting though.
You can't see your front porch because it's hidden by Jess's bush. Jess Bush, that's her name.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, this is right.
Half our audience, not just now left. That's okay.
Over half. I think I gonna commend the acting of the Klingons here. None of them quite feel like a classic Klingon. Like this guy, he threatens him in a very like offhand, like, "Oh, you fucker," doesn't feel serious. So I like he's not just being the classic warrior. I'm a warrior. Like he's got a bit more. There's a bit more range to the vibe there. So I appreciate that. He's not just some guy, right? He's just some miner. I like the vibe there.
And there's a weird moment earlier that we forgot to talk about. He says something about photon torpedoes, and she jumps in. Chapel jumps in and says to Spock, "Oh yeah, he studies weapon stuff. It's fine." It's like she knows something about him that no one else does, which kind of comes to play here, because she's like, "Are you okay?" And he's like, "I can't say it didn't bring back memories, but I'm dealing with it."
Yep.
And then he pulls out the green stuff to get to the bridge, and she's like, "Do you always carry that with you?" Again, implying that she knows that he has it. So lots going on there that we're probably going to find out about, that these guys serve together in some pretty bad situation. Now there is a mistake coming up though.
Oh, excellent.
Right after they inject themselves, they drop the hypo spray with the vial in it, and you see them falling. And the next shot, only 2 vials hit the floor with no hypo spray around them.
Oh no.
But yeah.
That's funny. No, they did reiterate many. It's kind of obnoxious when you realize that they're doing it. It's like, no, he was in the war. We didn't set it up before. Here's the setup happening now because you need it now for this episode. Because I mean, his storyline was his daughter. That's how I concluded. So now this is his storyline with a lot of her as part of that. But yeah, the first time this sort of happened, I was processing it. The second time, I was shocked how quick they went from "we are kidnapped" to "let's eugenics our way out with drugs." Like, it's so quick. Let's go and do things. I guess we need to spend 9 minutes fighting. We better get out of the scene straight away. Why didn't they search them, first of all? I mean, this is not going to be a normal vial of normal liquid. It's not I don't know. It just seems, and where's he hiding it? He's got 2 of them. I mean, is he in nature's pouch? I don't know. It's just weird to have 2 very experimental murder drugs in your...
Well, that being said, they are doctors and they had med kits, which I said, we have med kits to go help the other people. And then when they come to take them, you would assume they'd be like, "We want our med kits." Not going to scan every vial of medicine that's in there necessarily. Yeah, but we don't know what this is. Maybe they wouldn't either, even if they did scan it. So.
Yeah, but it's not going to look like a normal thing. Like, I know what you mean, but it's presumably something quite special if it can make a human...
It's the same vial that goes in the hypospray. It's just a hyperspray vial.
But I mean, what's in it? You can scan what's in it and say, well, this is a weird compound. It doesn't fit into the... Like,
yeah, it's just
like it felt like...
thing.
But like, it felt like it was a secret thing. Like, he was part of some special program, and it's a special bio thing to kick Klingon's ass. It's very specific. It's never been in Trek before. Like, it just feels like I happen to have this thing. Do you? But I guess it's because he's just doing a Klingon mission, is my assumption. I hate Klingons, therefore I'll bring an anti-Klingon beating up medicine. I'm assuming, cause I can't imagine he brings it on every mission every time. You know? It's not
Oh, he says he carries it all the time, so you're wrong.
Well, but all the time on missions. I mean, he's not going to... I guess he's going to sleep with it in his pocket, just in case I have to be super soldier. It's weird. And I guess there's no side effects, because they both don't even flinch in taking it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
But then, like I said, you see the hyposprays fall, and then what hits the floor is 2 vials that aren't even empty. 2 vials that aren't even empty hit the floor and break.
Do you know why, Stuart?
Because the hyposprays have a built-in transporter system, so they don't get damaged if they hit the floor.
They tend to fall. They don't damage the props.
That too.
But also, yeah, the vials are empty, so how is there now green liquid in the vials smashing the floor? There isn't anything in them. Wow, yeah, that's funny. That is a pure continuity mistake of their own thing. But if you ever wanted a shoe shot...
Perfect.
And then they go all...
John Wick.
Yeah, with just every Klingon that's happened to be outside, none armed in any way.
And yeah, none of the Klingons shoot at them, which I thought was really funny. And then I'm like, well, maybe Klingons like the appeal of hand-to-hand combat, which of course they would.
Yep.
But still, I don't think that would have played out that way.
Yeah, for me, this action beat is not well done. It's too long. It's boring.
Not filmed well either, I don't think.
No, I mean it. But I mean, it's hard to say. Right, you guys spent 2 days filming out a straight corridor beating up Klingons. And what are we doing? We're just punching Klingons. For how long? 9 minutes. Right.
That sounds like fun.
I mean, we have no money to do new things. We haven't got stunt disruptor props. Or stunt bat lads. It was not a winning... It's not a winning thing.
John Wickham says, I'm John Wick. That's funny.
Yeah.
And then the Klingon gets pinned against the wall. Mbenga's asking for information.
Turbolift,
how many are on board? Whatever. Huh?
Turbolift. Is that turbolift? He gets beaten in a turbolift.
They're not in a turbolift.
Pretty sure
they are. It's pretty big turbolift.
Have you seen Discovery turbolifts?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Regardless, he's pinned against the wall, and it's like, don't kill him, Joseph, because we can't get any information out of him. And yeah, it says how many people are on board, how many weapons, and we get the whole answer of 30 soldiers on the bridge in engineering, armed with phasers, phaser rifles, and Klingon disruptors.
None of the corridors. They're not armed.
And then where's the transporter the transponder on the ship? I'm not going to tell you. Mean look. Oh, deck 13. It's kind of funny.
The editing there was really good. No close up, just like a slight. Oh shit! Yeah, that was really good.
Yeah. 3-fold path, 5 pounds.
Thank you.
The scene of them beating up Klingons reminds me of the human augments stealing the bird of prey in Enterprise.
Done much better. But yeah, I got a very augment feel from that.
Yeah.
Which I'm hey, brilliant. I mean, we know that's, yeah, if Klingons attack your colony, they're going to win, physically. So find a thing that'll make you augmentable.
Next line is, I thought transponders could only broadcast a ship's name and class to other Federation vessels. He's like, it can, but I can reprogram it with a simple message. But he needs like a minute, and there's Klingons like literally coming down the corridor. So she buys him his minute. Very
unbelievable fight. At least she's getting beaten up slightly.
I think she says...
Swearing off.
Yeah, she does say that.
But I mean, this is a medical officer who's had limited tactical training, and for some it doesn't,
Well, we don't know. She might be special forces with the way her and Joseph have been talking. So it seems like they served together. It's going to come to that. You know it is.
So
they were ex-Section 31 or some bullshit.
So you're saying Majel Barrett and TOS is actually a special ops secret fighting agent?
Probably.
Right.
I can see them doing that. Come on. This implies that for sure.
Majel Barrett?
I know.
Use your damn disruptors. It's not hard to stop them. Especially as this is the day they're launching, they would be like, "Come back! Where are you? Where are the prisoners? Come back! Everybody, grab your guns!"
Now,
computer detect the nearest Earth
funny thing is,
person. Deck 6, great. Let's go kill him.
the funny thing is, there are humans here. They're not all Klingons, because you see them running down the corridor.
Yes.
There's quite a few humans actually.
Yeah.
So the broken circle is just mercenaries from like all sides.
Yeah, it's a they say not a faction. Yeah, it literally is human reinforcements. That's interesting, actually. Huh.
Yeah.
A lot of missing as well. Although I appreciate the fact they use interactive lighting on set for the disruptors. It looks as if the set actually goes red. And that's annoying to have to do, so I commend them for doing it physically. If it was. And the transition shot's fun between decks. That's fun. Good for them.
It's weird. Interesting, yeah.
And then
and this is where she says that unless you got more juice for another dance, it's this. I think it's running out.
And yet
So
not a problem
hurry.
still, though. It's just not even an issue. It's the same scene again, Stuart.
For her it is. She gets a little bit slower and less impactful. That's why she gets grabbed by the two guys. But Mbanga is still juiced up, apparently.
Yeah, but it's the same scene again, just darker.
I know. Yeah, it's way too many fight. It's way too long. Holy Christ!
And I'm still scrolling, Stuart.
I am too. I thought there'd be some cool shots in there, but apparently not. So.
Oh, there's a knife at one point.
Yeah.
And they close the door and they don't disrupt it. They don't anything it. Fuck it. Doesn't matter.
Well, I love how he's like, they'll be through in like 15 minutes if they got a plasma cutter. Less if they have a grenade. Gonna use a grenade? I'm not that stupid. Okay, maybe they are that stupid.
So are they saying they launch, get into orbit, firefight with the Enterprise in under 5 minutes? Or 15 minutes?
Well, it's after they get in this room that they're taking off, so yes.
Right.
I guess so.
Can they just beam in? The ship has everything else.
If the transporters are online, it wouldn't have been a priority to just attack another ship to have transporters working. Grant McGregor, $2. It's set up for a love triangle so Spock can cry. There's no love triangle with Joseph or Mbanga.
It's a mentor-mentee with a side order of we've been through shit together, therefore we'll always be closer than that.
Yeah.
But yeah, the D7 warps in. Slow clap for D7. Good looking D7. And I do like the pan out as well. I just wish that the people building the spaceship knew that you just have to hide in the rock asteroid and not be caught. Because they're not on low power state, the nacelles are still powered.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also there's an entire space firefight in the asteroids field and they don't see them. Which entirely ruins their point of saying, if we fire, they'll see us. What about the ship firing at us and hitting our shields? Are they not being seen?
That's even worse later, where they're like, you see the D7 in the foreground, you see the Crossfield class, and then you see the Enterprise right behind that shoots it. And Spock later says, we weren't even on your sensors until we destroyed the other ship. Yeah, you would have been. I'm sorry, but no sensors are that bad. All they do is look out their window to see you. They knew you were there.
Yeah, it's a bit ridiculous, this scene. It looks cool, but it's not a well choreographed space set of shots. As you had said, it does not come across, I think, in the episode. They take off from the planet, and then suddenly they're in the asteroid field, heading back to the planet. Well, when they took off, they'd been detected by the Klingons, first of all, because one other ship in orbit. That's what ships are designed to detect, right? Literally that purpose. That's also why they're there, to protect the planet. Into asteroids. Somehow the Enterprise detected them, despite them being in the ionized field that protects them from being detected. Why are they? Oh, I don't know. Doesn't matter. I do a lot of space work, Stuart. This stuff annoys me.
Yep. Anyway, they get a call from Lon, who's like, yeah, apparently a Klingon cruiser's arrived, and that my contacts in the Broken Circle have vanished.
I wonder where they've gone.
Where are they? And then she very unreactively watches the ship just take off.
It looks,
which is a cool scene, by the way.
And I'm wondering if that was actually the LED wall, because imagine the actor watching that behind them.
I think it would have been. I thought the same thing.
Good for them, if that's real.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you can clearly see crossfield saucer, but definitely smaller, except the window scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, flies into orbit. It's cool. La'an's acting is not good here. She's like... She's not very good in this episode. Sorry.
Yeah. But then the Enterprise sees it, and it's like, there's a ship entering orbit.
NCC 1279. Why doesn't it say the name then? It's giving the registry, and you say they say why registry and not name?
I don't know. Yeah.
But also we do see a system display of the ship, like behind them. So the ship does know what class ship it is because there's a display of them. Yeah.
That's what I said. The transponder shows the name of the ship and the class. And Uhura never once corrects them when they're like, I think it's a crossfield class. Crossfield class is no match for a battle cruiser.
It's not a crossfield. Oh, sorry, it's not Uhura. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah.
It's a crossroads class. Correction. Yeah.
So there she is. There she blows. Oh, Kit Bash. Oh, Kit Bash.
Looks good, though. I like the Kit Bash look.
Yeah, it does. It does work. As I said to you in another video, though, they should just have added some plating in between the rings a la Discovery Alpha. A chef's kiss in a funny.
Yep. Yep. But there's a signal mixed into the transponder code, a little blip that says Enterprise destroy this ship.
And why are the Klingons detecting that signal?
Because it's just transponder code. Uhura noticed a little deviation in it. Klingons wouldn't be looking for that.
But they're there just to be orbital defense.
Plus, the Klingons are not going to be looking or receiving any transponder codes from Federation ships, because then they would just know where every Federation ship is all the time in a battle. It's something that gets sent to friendly ships, not enemy ships.
So it's encoded?
It would be, yes.
Wouldn't you think Klingons are trying to break that encoding?
No, because they're not... I don't think you notice how transponders work.
Well,
no.
It's just if nothing's happening in space and a ship flies into orbit sending out signals, the Klingons are there to detect that stuff. It just seems odd they wouldn't detect them at any point. Especially if they're there to be detected. Hi, Ryan. Yeah.
Joe Brown says, how does the Enterprise detect the ship entering orbit but not the Klingons? They did detect the Klingons. As soon as the Klingons showed up, they're like, there's a Klingon ship. We're just here hiding.
I mean, how did the Klingons not detect the ship? The Enterprise did.
But not the Klingons did detect the ship, though.
But only after it enters the asteroid field.
Because if you watch, the Klingon ship like turns this way, and you see this on the tactical that the other ship's coming from this way, so it wants the other side of the planet. So it's fine, whatever.
Chapel's face is bruised though, which is quite sad actually.
Yeah. Anyway, they decide to look for EV suits to get out, and there you go. Back on the Enterprise, if the Klingons see that ship, that's going to start a war. And Spock's like, yes, absolutely. I think that's the exact intention of what's happening here. False flag operation.
He is on this shit.
Yeah.
Like, talk about, of all the possibilities, not Rogue Starfleet, not just he's right there.
And he figures out that, yes, they were taken by the extremists, and they were on that ship because that's who changed the transponder signal. Mm-hmm. So they're still on the ship, likely. We can't destroy it right away.
Well, there's no proof, so he's still putting everything on a hunch within a hunch, actually.
Yep.
And boy, this not crossfield has a lot of aft torpedoes.
I don't think those are torpedoes. When I rewatched it, they just look like phaser pulses.
But they do say, when they say fire and torpedo spread, they make a differentiation, and most things they fire are torpedoes. A lot of guns. But it's funny, because when they get hit, the ship's like Sparks, 10%. Well, why are there sparks flying? It's fine. You got this. 10%. You're fine. And Ortega's like 70%. Damn it, the paint. Ortega's, the shields is above the paint. You're fine. You're totally. Yeah. It's okay. They're not doing good against you. They've got like 10 hits on you. You're 70%. You're fine, girl. You're doing well. It's all good. But boy, they're firing a lot of guns, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. It's pretty fun to watch. I like this whole situation. It looks pretty, anyway.
I don't think it's well choreographed, but it looks nice.
Yeah. And I hate the shield impacts that are like on the hull. I just wish it was like a spherical shield system.
There's also incredibly weedy when it gets hit. It has no punch. Anything that sounds on the weapons and the impacts, so weak sounding. At least when they fire torpedoes, they might not be blue, but they have got the correct TOS sound effect mostly. Good points there, because that does sound great.
Yeah, and she does say, Ortegas does say they fired an array. Or I'm sorry, Mitchell says it. They fired an array of torpedoes. That's when the barrel roll happens.
Yeah, and they do throw a lot of guns, and they keep destroying. I mean, it's a cool sequence. It's just a bit daft. Boy, and the Klingons don't take a single torpedo, a single disruptor, a single phaser, a single explosion. I don't know why. Then remember, torpedoes. You can get brand new torpedoes. They're probably the same ones as the Enterprise. They're gonna detect them. There's nothing the Enterprise can do that would be different versus weapon fire. It's a silly moment. Doesn't make sense. Because if I was them, you should have hit them earlier. Like just shoot their.
Yeah.
Shoot their. Whatever.
Anyhow, and my God, Mbenga and Chapel find part of an EV suit. One's got a backpack, the other's got a helmet.
Yep.
And the helmet, the beacon will activate once it hits space, and the other, the pack, they can redirect themselves a little bit. But yeah, this whole discussion about going into space, and he's like, no, we're not going to die immediately. Take a minute to freeze to death, and don't worry, you'll be unconscious after 15 seconds anyway. Not a great plan, but it's the best we got.
I mean, it's the case of if we don't live, you'll be dead before you realise. So that's fine.
Yep.
But I mean, very poignant acting. It's like we're dying. Plan Z. Let's do it.
Yep.
It's good. It's good acting. And they're both medical people. They know what no atmosphere will do to them. They are very, very keenly aware.
Yes.
It would have been nice, to a total side note, if Chapel had said, well, our injection will protect us more, right? And Mbenga's like, yes, for an extra 10 seconds. Like, that would have been kind of a funny, side effect of, it bulking, even the residual bulking up a little bit. Would have been kind of cool. But it's fine.
Yeah. And then we get the Klingon ship notices what's going on, turns around, starts heading that way, and they're like, we only have time for one shot.
Including my telling you we have time for one shot. That would have been the second shot you could have shot.
And it's photon torpedoes locked on the Federation ship, full spread. And then it's waiting for the order to fire. No? Okay. Yeah, exactly. And the D7, the nacelle, gets ready to fire a disruptor, which I thought was very cool.
Second watch is even more subtle. It just literally slots down. It's actually really gentle with what it does. Cool. It's nice.
Yeah.
And they don't fire straight away. I give them credit. They're not there for war, right? Because just give them credit right there.
Yeah, and they could have been.
Yeah. I mean, 2 Federation ships, I count them, including a crossfield class.
And then Mbenga and Chapel are like...
Always kiss.
Mega's like, we've got out of worse. And she's like, no, we haven't. No, not really. Yeah.
But it is very close. There is that's the exact scene cut to take out a few moments would be they're going to kiss. It's very that sort of framing. And
it feels like it, yeah.
As I said to you in our other review, if you got 30 seconds to live, smooch, it's nice.
Like I said, like I told you then, I hope I know. I'm not going to die when you're around. I can say it. I'm sorry, you will be denied your kiss, my friend.
Yeah. But guys, subject your thoughts. We are doing well, but we need a bit more. Let us know. We're zooming towards the final confrontation. Let us know your thoughts. And vote in the poll, guys. Vote in the poll.
Spock finally gives the order to fire photon torpedoes and immediately closes his eyes like, shit, I just killed them. And at the exact same time, they also jettison into space.
Yes. And I've got to commend the cinematography of Spock, the hyper depth of field, the lighting. Yep. It's nice. I mean, he's pushing the acting super far. Literally crying. But you know,
Jill, we're not saying that they were going to kiss.
It was framed as if they could have. It
felt like they could have for a second.
Yes.
And I'm glad they didn't.
Yes. It was framed as every rom-com, like, one last hurrah. Okay, let's go. Like, it's exactly how they framed those scenes. I don't think they were going to, but it was like...
Even a kiss on the cheek for luck or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, kiss for luck would have been...
but we're not saying that we thought they had a romantic connection, because we didn't.
I would fight people that they don't.
Yeah, absolutely.
But speaking of fighting people, Stuart, now, you pointed this out. There's this shot, the space shot, with 3 ships. Talk about what you see here. Is it symbolic? Is it not? Tell me your thoughts, Stuart. It's quite fun.
It's kind of symbolic from the creative team behind this to be like, we're sorry for Discovery. Here it is encapsulated in one shot. An Enterprise that looks like the Enterprise, a Klingon D7 that looks like a Klingon D7, and framed in the middle of all that is an exploding ship, and very clearly you can see the Discovery saucer. It's like, we're sorry for that fake Federation ship that was in Discovery. We're going to show you this fake Federation ship getting destroyed with real Federation or Star Trek ships surrounding it. There you go. You're welcome.
Because it isn't subtle that the bit that isn't Discovery gets blown up, and all you see is the Discovery saucer. I mean, I feel like some CGI artist thought, I'm just going to make a bit of a visual gag here of F Discovery.
Yeah.
Because they could have done anything with a ship and made it look different. That said, though, they did paint it differently. This is painted like a Stranger Worlds ship, not a Discovery ship. The Gone is the very copper, which is great. I think it's much better rather than bright copper. But yes, destroyed. Klingon renegades are gone. Spock is not having a good day. But it's fine. Beat them up. We got him. And Spock leaves the bridge despite a D7 battlecruiser in its territory.
Yeah.
You know, the commander. No one on the bridge even goes beyond ensign, I don't think. Literally abandons the ship. Because that D7 is going to go right in and point weapons and say, lower your shield, Starfleet. And they're like, You kind of ignore that when you're watching the episode, but boy, you're done bad here, Spock. You're done bad here.
He goes down, totally ignores Mbanga, and goes to Chapo's like,
oh, that is funny.
I waited for you. You don't die. You do not die. And then she wakes up and is like, why you gotta be so rough? Because it was like giving her chest compressions. That's great.
You broke my frozen ribs.
You're supposed to. When you give chest compressions, you need to break ribs, unfortunately.
Because they were frozen. And also, he's a strong guy. But I always like a fake frozen makeup. I thought they did a great job on both. That very well done in Benga with the icicles. Yeah, really good. And boy, almost dead. Gosh.
And then surprise.
Briefly, and also the way they beam in is phenomenal. The abstract, not her perspective, is so well done. It's sporadic and but also really, really nice. Whatever they were going for, they did it. Really, really good.
Gil says because Mbenga was alive. Yeah, but how did Spock know that? He was just lying on his side on the transporter pad as well. Anyway. And then, surprise, Uhura says Lieutenant Spock were being hailed by the Klingon captain. Do you think? Wow, what a shock.
Hey, at least didn't fire first.
But Danny Janey, member for 24 months in the rank of Federation Council, thank you so much for that. Says this episode did everything it needed to do for me by including people and stuff visible in the windows during panning shots. No one likes disappointing white windows.
Is that a Picard dig?
And Jill 47 we're right there with you. We love the Klingon captain. He's freaking great.
And he has, what,
Yeah.
10, 20 lines? Really good job.
But the way that he's delivered is so measured. It totally reminds me of somebody or something else, and I cannot picture it. I cannot place it.
You've had 2 days, Stuart. You still not remember who it is?
No.
Well, but why do you like him, though? Because we keep saying it, but try and
Like I said, because the way he delivers his lines is so measured and so like on point, so authoritative, but not over the top angry, not exaggerated in any way. It's very much like a commanding presence. He makes a good captain, and his makeup's amazing. I don't know, and just the fact that he's not a crazy Klingon that just wants to start war with the Federation. He could have fired much sooner as well when they got the weapons ready. He was waiting.
Within his
He held
rights,
back
too.
on that. Yeah, and then of course talking to Spock in the way he does and says, "I need to see a person face to face to get a read on their personality." So view screen's not going to cut it. I don't know. Everything about him was just great, and his presence. It was just such a good screen presence.
And I do think he was underacting, which worked tremendously. Like, he let the fact that he's in this giant gold costume with reams of hair, giant forehead, giant cheeks. I'm strong, I know it. You see it. Yeah, really, really nicely done. Really good costume. I mean, for a captain, ornate, fun, bit deadly, but not quite. Clearly Klingon. I'm sure these parts will get very annoying, I'll be honest. But
Yeah.
I mean, they got, double chest, so it's fine.
The whole "why should I trust you?" and Spock's going through, "Well, we shot the ship first. We could have shot you just as easily. Why would I lie about that? To save your own ass and make up for your mistakes, and because we're superior." Like the conversation's good, and it's very well written. So
And actually, thinking back, how many Klingon versus Vulcan scenes we even get in Trek?
probably not many. I don't think there's many.
Yeah, not many. And maybe he's channeling a bit too much of Commander Spock, because he is very mature here. I mean, it works great, but he's very much like zoning in the command presence. I mean, this is a really good competition to have.
Danny Janey throws in a $50 super chat. Thank you so much, Danny Janey.
Amazing.
Good review today, guys. Hair and makeup needs to work on Spock's clip-on bangs. They're the Data's streaky grease paint in the eyebrows of the episode. Wow.
Goodness. Fun.
Okay, I love the way the scene ends, though. It's over a barrel of blood wine, and the Klingon's like, "You drink blood wine? I've been known to." And the whole, "You're no typical Vulcan." No. It would seem I am not. Was great.
Yeah, 3 times they say it. It's not subtle. But that's okay. But also, I like the fact that Klingon chap, offering that peaceful moment of, in person. And Spock just rises to it. It's exactly as you should do it. It's really sweet. And yeah, he should come back. This guy earned a regular guest spot. I don't know if he's got, they didn't give him much.
He's going to be the Shran. He's going to be the Shran of Strange New Worlds. Kind of like a rival.
Kang, Koth, or Koloth. I mean, he's Kang, Kor, or Koloth. Maybe his brother's Koloth or something. Have you met my young brother Koloth? Whatever.
I can see them doing something like that. I really could.
Ignore his smooth head. He was born that way. That'd be great, actually, if he walks up. Yeah, this guy's like 6'6", and the smooth head guy is quite short. It's like, sorry, brother. Yeah, bring him back. And build a D7 bridge, please. Cool, thanks. But yeah, blood wine scene, great, fun. I'm annoyed I can't see what disruptor's in their holster. Because I see a holster, and I see something in it, but I can't tell what it is. Because that's a full look at their costume. That's great. I mean, we saw it in the trailer, but this is obviously better resolution. It's great. It's bold, big, but that's a big guy, right? These aren't thin Klingons.
And I love the Klingon toast of "May your blood scream." Yep, certainly will tomorrow.
Yeah. No, it's great. And I guess all these Klingons weren't part of the pact, because, a lot of Klingons left. Part of the, we'll make a bad war thing. And note, Spock brings no escort. Because that engineer lady just beamed down herself. She had no authorization to be there. Are you kidding? She's like 200. She just did
She's
it.
just bored. She just came down.
But I mean, like Kirk would have brought Spock. You know.
Yeah.
This is ballsy of him to go down by himself.
Commander Carr puts in $5.
Thank you.
The Klingon commander reminds me a lot of the DS9 version of Kang, with his mannerisms and the way he talks. There you go. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. There's a lot of a TOS Klingon in him, which is great.
But I love this conversation with Palia, whatever her name is, where it's like, I knew your mother. She was the first one I came out to about being a Lanthanite. And, you know, the worst thing about living for almost forever? And Spock's like, watching the ones you love die. And she's like, no, anyone with an open heart feels that pain,
Good
which
line.
I loved. And she's like, no, it's the boredom. And the ship has no boredom. I love it. You got yourself a new chief engineer, essentially. It's like, okay, cool. This is a great scene. I really love this scene.
Yeah, for me, out of the two, she's much better in this one. She's not trying as hard. But the first one, she's acting with an acting, right? So there's a reason for that. And Spock being sort of little swayy. It's really subtle.
Yeah.
But
He's drunk walking up to her for sure.
But he keeps it's nicely done. You imagine Blood One hits real hard. No, she's good here, and again says she's not going to be following. She's like, I mean, she's a Guinan, right? She's an old lady. I've done all of this. If I want to go off the ship, fire me if you want, or don't. Oh, I'm not fired. Great, goodbye. And I'm back, and I got some coke. You don't mind snorting coke, do you? Didn't think so. Yeah, it just doesn't matter. Yeah.
And to the Vulcan that acts nothing like a Vulcan. I love the final toast.
Yeah, well, yeah. They had fun, didn't they? They kept going. I do hope, though, that with her storyline, they bring some NX elements. Because I feel like if you're saying 100 years minimum, that's such a chance to bring... Because we saw Archer Station Discovery. It's such... You know what I mean? Especially if she looks the same for that time. You could easily go back to the Romulan War, bring back Travis, put him in an NX jumpsuit, and now he's in his 40s, that's fine. Like, there's such a chance to do an NX crossover. They're doing Lower Decks, literally. You've made yourself a character that can do this, right? Like Guinan in TNG. I feel like you can do it, you know? You can do it. I believe in you.
So what do you think the odds are that Boothby's a Lanthanite as well? Anyway, just saying. I love how Spock puts that in there. You were able to live amongst humans until you were discovered in the 22nd century. It's like, oh, interesting. So was Connor McLeod of the Clan McLeod also a Lanthanite? Is that what the Immortals in Highlander are? Is just Lanthanites? You never know.
It opens up a whole new bonus thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
great.
very, very, very much like Guinan.
Yeah, it's their Guinan, right? I think.
Yeah.
But with a bit more direct plot importance, because Guinan, you have to actually go to her. She's an engineer just doing stuff, right? It's a more integrated. And then La'an with the kid. Enough said.
Yeah.
Although I was surprised instantly, I'm like, I was gone for one episode. Okay, you're back next week, I guess. That was a quick subplot that we didn't need or utilize really very well.
Yeah.
Moving on, right?
Threefold Path throws in £5.
Thanks so much.
I wonder if Chief Engineer is going to be like the defense against the dark arts teacher in Harry Potter.
Love it.
Or it's a different person each season.
That's pretty good. I would
Oh,
not be
and
against
Commander
that.
Carr. Oh, Commander Carr has joined the rank. The channel. Commander Carr doesn't even need to change their name. They're Commander Carr. That's awesome.
Well, here's a fleet video.
Welcome
Stuart.
aboard, sir.
Stuart, reiterate the fleet while I play a fleet video, because that is amazing.
This is our fleet video, guys. As you can see, many different ranks. You can check those out by hitting the join button or heading over to Patreon/Trekyards. All the same perks and everything apply over there. But you get your name assigned to a ship, and at the end of each video, you get to see where you are assigned. And fun enough, if you become a captain, you get a ship. You keep that ship. And if you become an admiral, you actually get a hero ship. So you can be a captain of like an Enterprise or the Defiant or anything like that. So consider joining the channel at any of these ranks. And thank you, Commander Carr, for that. Those channel memberships make a big impact, and we really appreciate those. So And we need more commanders, lieutenants, and ensigns, honestly. A lot of people have their ships, and we've had quite a few ships in the fleet during Picard. Got whittled down somewhat afterwards, but these fleet videos are always really fun to watch at the end of the episode, because names are always shuffling around because we got members coming and going, and it's always fun to try to find your name and see what ship you're assigned to and be part of our Star Trek fleet. Ooh, and George Mangrum has just gifted 5 Trekyards memberships. So welcome Alan Parr, Eric Sween, Sean O'Sullivan, Mike Yu, the Scottish Nightmare, and Dan Ben. Oh, Scottish Nightmare was not one of them. Sorry. Alan Parr, Eric Sween, Sean O'Sullivan, Mike Yu, and Dan Ben. Welcome to the channel as ensigns. At least for 1 month, you got gifted a membership. So thank you very much, George Mangrum, for that.
But you could upgrade right now and be a commander. Or anything else.
Good.
And it is worth saying, Stuart, or reiterating, that we are going to be adding the Strange New World Enterprise to the fleet video. So the first person, I'll pop the video.
Become an admiral. At the admiral rank.
Okay, I'm going to put a non-Enterprise Strange New World Enterprise in the fleet, just so you have a chance of doing an Enterprise. The first, if anyone who joins Captain rank today, or during the next week, the first person to go Captain, or is it Admiral, hey, either one, will get a Strange New Worlds Connie to Captain. I'm going to add it right to the fleet. First one. Just saying. It's up to you guys.
There you go. It doesn't even have to be an admiral. It doesn't have to be a hero ship. It'll still be a Strange New Worlds Connie. You can be a captain.
Well, what's the other class name?
Oh, the Sombra class. The USS Peregrine was a Sombra class, which is just a Constitution class, but apparently smaller, which is really stupid. But hey,
It'll be
it
a
uses the
Somber
same
class.
parts as a Constitution class, so how much smaller can it be? Not much. Yeah, exactly. Exactly the point.
So yeah, first person go Captain. That'll be no lucky dip, straight in there. But speaking of straight in there, Spock politely asks to quiet. So
Getting this shit from Admiral April. And he goes, yeah, it was just me being drunk and having a hangover. That was all part of the treaty with the Klingons. And April's kind of like, you could have thrown us into a war. And Spock's like, I did what I thought was right. I trusted my gut, as humans say. And I'm willing to accept any punishment. And April's like, you know what? That Klingon hangover is your punishment. Don't do it again, because there better not be next time, because next time it'll be your commission. This is April out. Peace. Yeah, it was good. I love seeing a good dressing down from an admiral. So yeah. Anyway,
do you think he should have got in trouble for, stealing one of the 12 most advanced ships in the fleet?
borrowed it, as you said. What are you talking about? Beginning of this, you're saying he borrowed it. Now you're saying he stole it.
I'm not saying it. I'm saying Spock said it. I do think he should have given him some punishment, as the guy in the minute says. What the hell? I wonder if that's to try and cover it up without doing much paperwork.
I think so.
But it is a bit weird in retrospect. Like, that's a court-martialable offense.
He probably checked with Pike, and Pike's like, "I'll deal with him when I get back." And next episode, we're gonna see Spock getting reamed out by Pike.
Or we hard cut to the kitchen and Spock's doing the dishes.
Yes,
You got 6 months of dishes. I would buy that. That'd actually be quite fun.
Yeah.
But it is an interesting beat though, knowing the Gorn stuff. He's thinking, right, well, I probably made a mistake not sending a ship, but also, we solved the problem. Yeah. Whatever, wasn't a problem yesterday. Whatever, moving on. Like it's a tactful vibe. But yeah, Shock didn't get reamed out. And then sickbay, I am shocked they went full emotion. I mean, this is Nimoy wouldn't do this almost ever. This is season 2, and he's right in full emotion territory.
All he really says is, "I have no words for what I feel," and then he leaves.
But it's everything. This is not Spock. This is human Spock. Boy, wow.
Yeah.
And I was surprised he turned to Mbenga. I thought he was going to hide his emotion, because we know they don't want to show emotion to people. So vulnerable moment here. It's shocking.
Yeah.
This scene, and he's not even concerned by it, which I find interesting. I know he's younger, but he seems entirely unaffected by the fact that he is literally going against everything that he was taught by Sarek. I'm intrigued by it. Also, what have we seen Sarek? Whether his name was James Frayne, whatever the actor's name was. You know.
Grant McGregor, $2. Somber class. You mean sombrero class? No, I mean somber class. But
Yeah, exactly. He borrowed the Enterprise from Kirk too. Yeah, he borrows it a lot.
and I like the next thing. I thought something nefarious was going to be going on here with the way it was shot and the way, just the camera, the way it did its thing. They let him off easy. And it's like, well, saves us from having
evil admiral, secret.
Yeah.
Yes.
Saves us having to defend on two fronts at the same time. Whether he saved our bacon, whether he realizes it or not. But if this war happens, we're going to need every ship we can get, or a good officer we can get. He's a good officer, he says as well. And then we get probable object identification. Gorn attack ship. Oh my god!
And not just that, but if you look at the half blur, right near a Klingon ship, not far at all, a lot of dots on the border. Only one passed over the border, which are detectable. So all those are Klingon ships. And right near Deep Space 2, so not that far. And I do think Cestus is specifically a thing in TOS. Cestus 3, I think. I'm bold. I mean, that means they're tripling down on Gorn to be the overarching threat. You know, we literally have an episode of beating up Klingons and drinking with them as friends to show, they're Klingons. Gorn! That's what it's going to be. But we don't know who Gorn are, Stuart. Don't worry. We don't know. They're not in the database.
Yeah. The Trek reviewer says, from what I heard, the real world reason the Pike was in this episode was his wife was giving birth to their first child.
I've heard that too. Good for them.
All right, that is
Good
it,
reason
guys.
to not be around.
Yeah. This is the time where you guys super chat in with your scores out of 10.
Yes.
I will read the super chat scores out of 10 when we are finished our summation and our scoring. And if you want to just put in the regular chat, you can do that as well. Samuel will read those out. But we want to hear from you guys what you thought about this episode out of 10. And whether our conversation or discussion raised anything that you might not have thought of or helped out at all, we want to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, and a couple of 5s, a couple of 10s, we're at a good place. So we're not far away. But in the poll list here, I asked, what did you think of the new engineer? And a pretty broad spectrum here. 37% loved her, 33% liked her, 20% thought she was okay, and 10% didn't work for her. So over 67% at least liked her. Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, vote now. I really want to know you guys' scores. Really want to know.
And Skeleton, Strange New World's #1 fan, puts in $10 and said the U.S. has had a certain former chief executive steal nuclear secrets, war plans, and state of the UK military readiness and keep them in his bathroom in clear violation of laws, rules. Stuff happens. There you go. All right. Hit that like button if you haven't already, guys. We have 108 likes. That is amazing. I want to try to get to 120 of those. Some of the 12 likes would be awesome. Keep the super chats coming. We really want to hear your super chat scores out of 10. Let's do it. So yeah, in summation for me, I don't know if this discussion helped me at all change my thoughts on this episode. The other thing we should point out is that at the end, the dedication to Nichelle Nichols, which said, for Nichelle, who was first through the door and showed us the stars, hailing frequencies forever open. Very nice, very nice. So, anyway, so that was a nice way to end the episode for sure. But lots of stuff here that I liked. I liked seeing a new ship design, kit bash or not. It looked really cool. The establishing shot of Starbase 1 with the ships doing their thing, again, amazing. Docking clamps. There's a lot of good visuals in this one for sure. Even the stuff in the rings, the asteroid belt, whatever. And the D7, and Klingons are back. That was awesome. The story I didn't really care for. I didn't like the whole Mbonga and Chapel thing. It's not really explained too well. I'm sure we'll have follow-ups in the coming episodes talking about how they serve together and, that Mbonga's dealing with some stuff that nobody else knows about but Chapel, and one about that serum. Maybe it's side effects. Maybe it has something really bad about it. Who knows? But they're building up to something. It's an interesting first episode for the season, and it's not my favorite Stranger Worlds episode by any stretch of the imagination. It's just kind of a weird one to start off on. A little bit of an unshaky first step for me, but overall, Ortegas was great in this. I loved her little moments she had. Same with Carol Kane as Pelia. I think she's going to be an interesting character. I'm really going to like her.
And just for context, what have you seen her in previously? Like, what do you know about her as because she's the main character?
The main thing I know about her is that she was in Taxi, the comedy Taxi, and she was also in Scrooged with Bill Murray, which I watch pretty much every Christmas.
When was that made? What era was that made?
Like 88, 89, maybe a little bit later. But she plays the Ghost of Christmas Present, and she is essentially a fairy, and she basically beats the shit out of Bill Murray, trying to teach him a lesson. And her acting is exactly the same as the fairy as it is in this.
She looks very similar as well from 40 years ago, actually.
Yeah. And I absolutely love it. So I'm looking forward to seeing more of her for sure.
Carol Kane. She's 70.
Yeah.
Good for you.
She's damn good for 70. Other than that, Klingons returning was awesome. They looked great. The Klingon commander was awesome. Can't wait to see more of him, which I'm sure we will. He's going to be it's going to be like Tomalak, a recurring character.
Just more, please, than Tomalak.
Yes, yeah. That's why I said Shran originally, because.
Yeah, and just for this season, Stuart, we want to give 3 scores. Just how much we enjoyed it, compared to all the new Trek, now includes Picard, and compared to Strange New World season 1 and 2. Just because this is a unique show for that. Winning it score.
Let's see.
So how much you enjoyed it, just purely by itself, and then compared to the seasons 1 and 2 of Stranger Worlds, and compared to all of the new Trek, including Low Decks and Picard and such.
Out of all the new Trek, this is probably going to be about a 6.5 for me. Okay. I think Lower Decks, Prodigy, and Picard season 3 had a lot of better stuff in them. This one was just kind of all right. Like I said, there's a lot about this one I didn't really super enjoy. For Strange New Worlds as a whole, I'm probably going to give this one 7.2. Kind of around the average mark, just a little maybe above. I mean, Strange New Worlds has been good. Just all of them, pretty much. There's been no real bad. So, and then for this season, let's say I'm going to give this
season of 1. 10.
Exactly. I'll give it a 7 to start, because honestly, it's just kind of all right for me. So
yeah,
lots could have been changed to make it better. The fight scenes were just way too long and protracted and too dark, and yeah.
I think we have very similar complaints. I think.
Yeah.
Which is useful. Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, your scores, super chats, thoughts. I think we're about sort of $30 away from a really lovely number, so keep that in mind. Do you want to do super chats now, or should I jump in?
Jump in.
All right. So yeah, for me, I actually think I enjoy it less on second viewing, but now a little more discussing it with you, because it was fun to discuss the problems.
Yeah.
Because it's that sort of light-hearted show that silly little things can happen. It's like, oh, this is silly, whatever, but also you can let them go. Solid, with many weak points, but the good is good, the bad is bad, but they're quite distinct. Fight scene element, etc. First half's better. Very darkly lit, bridge, unnecessarily dark, etc. Great acting all round. I don't know if there's any bad acting. Oh, La'an, she let herself down, unfortunately, this week. Don't know why. She's great. She did not do a good job this week. It was material.
What she was given directed, so.
Yeah, I don't feel like I can blame her, because she's better than this material. But Spock was great, and Beng was great. There's both padding and wasted scenes. It's a weird dichotomy there. But nice CG in general. D7 was great. What it does best for me is it launches us, some successfully, some not, into we've got 2 more years of this. And I'm sure that they had some big sense from the studio, oh, this season one's going to be great, people are going to love it, we'll think about getting you a season 3. Like, start planning season 3, right? Like, this is going great. So it feels as if this is more of a continuing arc situation where the Klingons are going to be maybe even fight with them against the Gorn. Could be really exciting. There's all this potential that I feel in the bones of this episode that's building in. A lot of subtext, a lot of stories, a lot of stuff. You know, flashbacks to the Klingon War. Will they show Discovery Klingons or not with Mbenga? Could happen. We had that with La'an in her flashbacks. The New Engineer, her 100 Years flashbacks. Could be anything, right? A lot of stuff that could go somewhere. But I don't think I'll be disappointed if they don't go anywhere with it, because they threw so many things at us. I don't think I'll be... I haven't got anything particularly set in my head, but they've got a lot of potential elements they could pull in. That's up to them. Apart from the Klingon captain, I'll be pissed if he's not returned several times. Genuinely pissed off. That's the only one I'll be personally insulted by. Reshoots! Go! But yeah, I mean, I said from the start when they showed these Klingons in a leak, they looked great. They knew the mistakes the old teams made. They heard the reaction of the fan base. Everyone's been pushing a better way. If fans come together and say we do not like it, they change. They did that. It's great. Moving on, right? Great. And in fairness, if they do flashbacks to the Klingon War and show non-Discovery Klingons, talk about a retcon with their own show, which you can do. I doubt they'll go ahead and make those makeups again because A, they're more expensive, harder to do, and less acty. So I think they'll stick with their ones. Because look how many Klingons they had on the screen. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, score-wise... The only thing I'm similar to you, but the only qualifier is compared to Strange New World Season 1 and 2. This might be the third worst between the two seasons, so obviously it's going to be a lower mark for me, because in comparison to them, right?
Yeah.
That's not a bad episode, because they've had some really good ones. So that's more...
I don't know my old scores.
Sure, but 7 is like top 30%, mine below average, so it's actually going to be under 5, because it's under average for the show. So that'll be my only... That'll skew that for me, personally. Personal enjoyment... I think I'm going to give it 6.5. I think if the threads go places, I'll enjoy it more. But currently, better than average, for sure. Some really significant weak bits. Not a lot of secret sauce, but pretty solid. And 6.5 is pretty solid still, right?
Yeah.
So that's a strong C. All new Trek, it's definitely an average one, because Lower Decks is better almost every time. Prodigy is very good, so I'm going to give straight 5, right? Not as bad, just there's now been better stuff in the new Trek. Between seasons, I'm going to give it a 5 as well, I think, because it's average. They have done only 2 episodes that are worse, but their average is very high. So I can't give it lower than a 5, I don't think. But I think it's still, for both seasons, a lot better. So these aren't, I don't like it, but I'm just trying to think both seasons sort of metrics.
Gotcha.
But if this is the worst of the season, you've done a great season. Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm just thinking a bit different than you for that. But score-wise, yeah. But yeah, cool. All right, what do people say?
Well, Patrick, member for 3 months, the rank of captain, says my score for this episode, 8.7 out of 10.
Oh.
Very good start of a season. I look forward to next week's episode.
I just know they can do better, Stuart.
Yes, I'm sure they can. Yeah. Threefold Path throws in 5 pounds. 7 out of 10 for me. A steady, if messy, start to a new season. Looking forward to see what comes next. Fair. David Kyer, $5. Gorn, bring back the man in the rubber suit. 7.9 out of 10. Don't get us started on that, but yes.
Well, and the irony is, with Linus, who's a full face, like with eyes, you can do an incredibly good body, integrated.
Yep.
Linus showed they can do a real Gorn that is incredible. No issue, right?
Yeah.
No issue at all. It's great.
And Grant McGregor throws in an amazing $20 super chat. Thank you so much, Grant.
Thank you so much.
Milk toast out of 10. The engineer really got on my nerves. More than season 1 Neelix. Good musical score is always a plus.
The music was good. I did like the music.
Yeah.
Same lady does Prodigy. She does good stuff. Good stuff for her.
Neelix is underappreciated in my opinion. I like Neelix.
He's so where he needs to be. Like, that's exactly the character. Just.
Yep.
It's like saying you hate T'Pol because he's being too Vulcan-y. It's like, well, this is what they're going for, guys.
Exactly.
And then his costumes, my God, they're interesting. What? It's all that water, Stuart.
They're the Quark's costumes of Voyager. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I never had a problem with Ethan. And Ethan's such a nice guy. I've met most of the Voyager cast, and Ethan is especially nice.
Yeah.
He's so giving with his time. Very nice.
And Eric Martin throws in $11 Canadian and says, I want the super chats to go up now. 7 out of 10. Thank you, Eric. Very appreciated. We haven't seen Adult Gorn yet. I don't give a shit. They're not going to be like... Don't get me started. We've had this discussion already.
Yeah.
We'll see what they bring us this season, and then we'll talk.
You would say they know better than to shit on the Gorn with what they've done and keep it that way, but also...
Didn't they also say they want to try their own thing? That they didn't... They deliberately screwed the Gorn because they wanted...
their own thing,
yeah.
We could not predict. They're still telling us they're spacefaring, but also have children that eat each other and blah, blah, blah. We'll see, but all the evidence is pissing us off. They're aliens.
Yes.
But if they show us standing Gorn on a, and they're talking in Gornish and they're going to the Gorn home, they could do a lot great with that.
And Jill says we can see an adult Gorn as long as the Federation does.
Same with the Romulans, ostensibly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's fine.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But God, their ship's terrible. Right, what are you non-super scores? I'd love to know what the average... So just to reiterate, guys, you gave it a 7. I got 6.5. So what do you guys think? We've got Alan jumped in first, 7.8 out of 10. Ryan K, 7.5. Marco, 8. Danielle, 10 out of 10 for good windows. There you go. Stanley, 7 to 8 out of 10. Lieutenant Raymond, 9.5, almost perfect. Mr. Anders, can you tell us why? Almost perfect, because that is a top tier trek.
Raymond!
Let us know.
How dare you? Alpha,
8 out of 10. Daniel, 9, also top tier trek. George, 8.5. Joseph, 8. Trek Reviewer 9.9 for Fake Warp Core Breach out of 10. Damn, so that is Trek Reviewer, basically a perfect episode of Star Trek. Gosh. 7 out of 10 from Day EO. Tom, 7 out of 10. Eric, 8 out of 10. Skeleton Stranger Worlds, number 1, 7 out of 10. Commander Card, 9.3, again, almost perfect. Gosh. Joe, 7 out of 10. Scottish Nightmare, 6.5. It was right, but I think memorable. See, I think the Klingons are memorable, though, by being Klingons. But they're just being Klingons.
Commander, the captain, was extremely memorable.
They should say Kalis, just not in the stupid voice. That would have been great. Just to, what would Kalis do?
That might be coming later this season. Do stay tuned.
Wouldn't it be great if Mary Shivo turns up as a normal Klingon?
I have a feeling Pike and this Klingon captain are going to be either the Klingon captain's going to come to the Enterprise or vice versa, and they're going to be in the same room together talking at least once. Just saying.
Oh no, I'm sure. But Mary Shivo though, just in normal makeup.
That'd be cool.
Just I mean, not as this grand, weird Klingon queen lady. Just
maybe as an admiral.
Yeah, or just the chance. Yeah, like just give her a chance without all the bullshit, right? Let us do the performance. Without hello, Pike. No, just let her do the performance. Zachary 7.5 out of 10. Triple 8. Jill 7. Hypno 8. Ryan 10 out of 10. Perfect episode, says Ryan. Gosh. 7.6. And yeah, okay. So yeah, 7, 8s, and 9s. Quite a diverse scale, actually. Again, I review these knowing what the Stranger Worlds can do, right? I know what TNG can do, you know? And when you have 11 minutes of not good, it's going to skew a thing out of a 9, right? There's a lot of that in this one. Interesting, though. Love the green meth.
Joseph Morris puts in £2. Did that drug remind anyone of V24 from The Boys? Well, yeah, same kind of vibe. And Eric Martin, did Sam like his Prometheus book?
I liked seeing it on a screen.
He has yet to appreciate it in person, but
What,
he got the experience of the signing and all that.
you saw the face I sent you.
Yes, yes. It was his O face.
Oh my. Yes. Aussie 9.2. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, hey, good start to a season. We didn't get this season on, or a trailer. I've not seen anybody talk about anything possibly a good thing. Lots could happen. But, Stuart, is our last Super Chat slot around? I think we're about a $9 away from hitting a goal. Hey, that could be you.
A $10 goal would be good. If we could hit that, that'd be awesome.
And 4 likes. I mean, come on.
That could be you. You could be the last Super Chat word in this whole thing. You could, like, go out with a bang. Say whatever you want in the Super Chat. I do have to read it, after all. So
There's the Super Chat law.
consider that. Hit that like button, too, as well. I would like to get 4 more likes to get to 120. Great number. So if you haven't hit like, do that now.
Yeah, when YouTube invented the YouTube Lives, they sent all the creators a giant pillar, like a 10 Commandments slab on marble, and said, "You must readeth thine super chats." I mean, some don't follow it, but we still took it to heart, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you took it to heart. And I asked a poll, 54 votes so far. I asked, what did you think of these new old Klingons? 85%, yes, as they should be. 9%, no, not great, could be more classic. Okay. 2%, I prefer Keeners.
That was one person. That was one person.
Yeah. 4%, I don't care, Klingons change, shush. Also thankful, because they don't change. Watch a video on whatever the day is.
And Matt Boardman says, did you know that Bobs, who plays Mbenga, is a Brazilian jiu-jitsu master?
Sweet.
He was in the martial arts, but I didn't know what. So there you go. Jiu-jitsu master.
A lot of gravitas, that man. A lot of gravitas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Great cast. They really lucked out on their cast. Or really strong casting. I wonder if they did substantial screen tests with different of the cast to see how, because they knew where some of the dynamics were going. I'd be interested to see how many screen tests, obviously through COVID, etc. But
yeah,
because the chemistry between many of them is just really, really good, and it's really good.
Yeah. And
yeah, right.
X Star throws in £5. Arrived late to the chat. Been at sea for weeks.
Oh, goodness.
It's great to hear your take on the show again. Yes.
2 hours and 17 minutes. Go back and watch it. It's an interesting review. Let's talk about it. Thank you. Hopefully the sea's gone well for you.
Threefold Path throws in £5 as well. Looking forward to number 1 and La'an being back on the ship, bring a more sensible aspect to balance the more childish nature of others.
That's a really fair point, actually. Huh. Especially as La'an was inspired by number 1, so they carry a lineage of structure. That's the word.
There you go. Patrick throws in €11.
Amazing.
I just remembered I did not see a live stream for Sam's birthday, or I missed it. So here is a belated super chat for his birthday of becoming a member of the 30 Club. We have yet to do his birthday stream. That'll be coming up in the next weekend or two. Not this upcoming weekend, but
that's tomorrow
after. Yeah, and this is also Father's Day weekend. So,
but you did not.
But yeah, that will be coming up. Don't worry, you haven't missed anything.
No, because I had my birthday week and party. You had your Wonderfest, and we've just come back from it. So, we had the middle bit. Boy, I was busy all week last week because if you're the one hosting a party and organising a party, a lot of planning goes involved in getting the house ready and getting food and drinks and snacks and tidying. It's a whole thing. So went great. I'll show some pictures, but it's a whole thing. But I'm excited to do that, to share some stories, share some presents. 30. Gosh, crazy. And we have a lot of booze left over from the party. So get those super chats ready because you can hurt me very easily on that live. And a brand new costume, Stuart.
Nice.
It just arrived.
Cool. All right. And on that note, guys, lots to look forward to. So thank you for joining us. Make sure you're subscribed. Do all that stuff. Hit the like before you leave. Still not at 120, but anyway.
Not?
No.
Oh, one more, guys.
Close.
Come on. One more like. Jeez Louise.
Well, yeah, as we close out, I
want it. I want it, Stuart.
I know you do. But that's all right. You don't always get what you want. Sometimes you get what you need. Which might only be 119 likes. We don't know. One person out there hasn't hit the like button. Come on.
Do it. But yeah, like Stu said, lots of great videos coming out next 4 or 5 days. I think we had a really good discussion today. We're both in great moods, nice analytics. Yeah, pretty good set of stuff. Should be interesting. And a lot of positivity as well. A lot of positivity. A lot of just fun and
yeah. So the likes went down to 118 because somebody hit the like button again when they already hit it, and then went up to 120. So thank you guys. Anyway.
Guess who I'm responding to with my face right now?
Yeah.
Danny
On
J.
that note, guys, make sure you tune in for the weekend. Make sure we can tune in for the weekend reaction, well, the videos, and next week as well. And we will see you guys very soon. Until then, he is Commander Cockings.
He's Captain Foley.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.